and lobby, then that A bomb site is going to be gone in a second. But that's the weakness right now for sure. Not that Mousesports could necessarily know that, but the setup here is definitely scary. And the fact that he's holding that doesn't really matter to me because, again, one good flash or something like that, and, you know, that they're in through mini. The smokes are going up. Ball a little bit there, and Searson, I like this, though. Look at, he's so, again, this is his play style in this tournament. I love it. He's on top. He's almost catching Frozen, making a lot of noise as he maneuvers around, and they're going to go for the ramp. But there's a boost up here, and they don't know about it. Absolutely shut down. Tabson with the triple. Frozen nodding his head. Not sure why. But regardless, it's going to be big winning the round in a tremendous fashion.
Dude, this is looking like Baker just got them completely locked down. Mousesports just completely falling apart in that round, getting caught by that boost. But also eventually just walking back in, it feels like Big were just ready for it, completely ready for that ramp hit. Tabson really rotating over early was making such a big difference. I wonder if Mousesports are starting to lose their cool a little bit here.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they have some of the right ideas here, but I mean, Big are just also starting to wake up a bit more. Some of their players getting kills, Tabson amongst them. I remember he had like 4 kills in the first half, maybe less than that. Now he's starting to pick it up. He's up to 14. That's pretty good. Searson, I feel like still struggling a bit with that AWP, but he's also playing that ridiculous style, which I love it. It's very exciting, but not the output that we normally see.
morning and welcome back to yet another day of ESEA Season 37. It's the playoffs and we're back once again from the studio in Sydney, Australia. That is why I say good morning, lads, because for us it is a good morning and, you know, it's fantastic, it's great. We're all pumped, happy to be here. But one question I have for those of you guys in the chat at home is who has the best shirt to start off the day? You guys have any opinions on that, or is it... do we all just vote for ourselves?
Well, technically that's my shirt because I bought that one, so I have two
it's my
shirts
shirt
in the race.
You bought it for me.
Yes.
It is my shirt now.
Well, I bought it for everyone and said everyone has the choice to keep it if you want it, and you decided
I
to
wanted to keep
keep it
it.
because it's a sick shirt.
I dress myself. So
Yeah, true. I like your shirt too, by the way. I think it's
I
got a
couldn't
competition.
tell you where I got it from though.
Really?
The website disappeared.
Oh.
Really? That's unfortunate. Well, hopefully we'll be able to find another one later on in the piece. For now, though, obviously we do have some Counter-Strike to talk about. You guys have both been here for a little bit longer than I have. You've been around the last couple of days, and things have been progressing nicely. We did lose big here in the EU division of ESEA Premier, so that's a little bit surprising to me. Obviously, got a bit to catch up on myself, and what we'll be taking a look at today is that lower bracket final, AGO and FORZE, going head-to-head for the spot against Sinners Esports. 2-0 for Sinners against AGO is not too shabby of a result. It makes you think that whichever the two teams actually does make it through to that grand final match, it's going to be a tough one for them.
Yeah, Sinners were really quite comprehensive. The way that they played as well themselves, they admitted that they were trying different things because they actually play each other quite regularly. So they were doing different things, contact plays, pushing when necessarily they weren't normally doing so. So they're actually pulling a lot of things out of the hat for this ESEA Premier Final. So it's good to see now some of these teams are actually making adaptations on the fly, and you know, we're starting to see things from them that we haven't seen before.
What did you think, Mac? You've obviously been here as well, you know, watching some of these games. You got to catch up with a little bit of Ancient as well. You're a pretty big fan of the map.
Oh yeah, Ancient. It's been sick to watch a lot of the teams here in EU picking it up and playing it throughout the regulation as well as here in the playoffs. And one team in particular that looks really good on that map is one team we're going to be looking at today, which is FORZE. AGO as well looks relatively okay on the map, but I'm not sure if they'll let it slide through in the Vita, only because of how strong it looked as a map for FORZE.
Well, they were really quite regimented on that map too on their T side, if you remember. AGO actually were the ones that had to set Molotov to stop CT aggression, which is seemingly commonplace as well on that map. You watched a lot of the teams on that City side. They will take mid, they will actually aggress, they will actually try and hold it and contest it quite often. But AGO are one of the few teams that actually have some regimented T-side strategy to deal with that. So I'm keen to see how they actually match up against FORZE, who in their own right were also quite aggressive on both T and CT side and look quite comprehensive.
Certainly a lot to think about, and for those of you at home who have a little bit to think about, you know, maybe you want to catch up with what's been happening here on ESEA Playoffs, make sure you check out esl.gg/ESEA Premier. That's where you can find all the info, anything that you need to update yourself, not only for EU but also for NA, and you know, that's where we get more of our information about all these matches, and you know, we're definitely looking forward to sort of catching up with NA later on, again this morning, I suppose, for ourselves, but for those of you who are probably watching from the regions that we're covering, maybe it's a bit later on today. Either way, fellas, let's talk about this first matchup that we're going to get to take a look at. Obviously, this is the EU side of things, so we're going to be taking a look at AGO and FORZE. As mentioned, this is the lower bracket final. This now is an elimination match for both of these two teams, and I guess it's all on offer, really, essentially. That spot against the Sinners, there is that potential chance to make it through to ESL Pro League as well, and it's a big matchup for both teams.
Yeah, I need to point out as well that this is going to be a bit of a grudge match for FORZE. Of course, Jerry did suffer a blackout when they played in the upper bracket the other day, so he wasn't able to play out the rest of the Mirage, which did go to overtime. So maybe this could be the change-up that they need. We had a chat to Jerry yesterday, said he was very keen to get into the game today. But of course, not saying it was going to be easy. He didn't say the win was already there. He said he respected AGO as a team and they're going to try their hardest to get this win on the board.
He did hint though that they were well prepared for them, so
yes.
he was actually quite confident in what they were going to be able to bring to the table. I don't know whether that was due to maybe the adjustment they were going to make in terms of the veto and how things were going to pan out there, but when they did match up, it just felt as though they lost that momentum that they had when his power unfortunately went out. They had to sub their coach in little. He did a decent job, but remember, he was coming in cold in the first set of OT on a long Mirage game.
Yeah.
Does the match change anything for you guys? Is that a huge factor? Obviously, we do need to talk about the vetoes, so maybe we should bring them up here and let you guys have a little bit of a chit chat about those. I know again, Mac, you are always keen for a little bit of Ancient, and it tells me that we may get it in this series. That is, of course, if we go to 3 maps, and the likelihood of that seems to be, I think, quite high based on what we've been seeing so far in the playoffs of the ESEA Season 37. I feel like every single game has been close, at least the ones that I've been watching, and so Ancient definitely on offer.
Yeah, I'm really liking this video for both teams. Or really liking the chances of going to Ancient. We really like what we saw from AGO the other day on Nuke. I really like what we saw from FORZE and Mirage. Even though they did swap map picks, we'll see if that trend continues today. So there is potential for it to be that 2-0 if all things go right for one team or another. I guess, you know, every dog has their day, and I guess it depends on what is in the water today for both these teams.
No, that's right. I mean, both these two teams are actually quite keen to float Ancient in the pool as well. Not necessarily their first pick. I think AGO might have been a little bit hesitant to pick it because they've revealed their hand in terms of their T-side strategy. So a few of those teams are actually able to make adaptations, namely Sinners, when they came up against them. So they've just kept it in there as a possibility, but they haven't gone into it with a pick. I actually think after this video, it does slightly favour what we've seen from AGO. So I'm kind of leaning towards them, at least in terms of after seeing the video. But those map picks now coming into Nuke, I actually think that this one could go either way. But, you know, both these two teams are quite good on it.
Indeed, and we'll definitely have a lot to say about Ancient if we do get there, but for now, it is going to be Nuke kicking things off between AGO and FORZE. Again, it is the lower bracket final for Season 37 of ESEA Premier. It's the playoffs, and it's all on offer. An elimination game, but also a chance to go up against Sinners in the grand final. That will be tomorrow, and one of these two teams will get to playoff for that spot at the ESL Pro League as well, which is obviously something that everyone is looking forward to. You know, that was something that I suppose we all sort of thought maybe that Big would be making a run in for, but they've been eliminated early on in the piece, and so now we might see another new entrant to the Pro League, or at least in some cases, some new players at the very least. Obviously, AGO has been there in the past. Either way, let's find out how things do pan out on Nuke. It'll be AGO to kick things off on the T side with a couple of sets of utilities. So they must have something up their sleeves here.
Yeah, it looks as though they've got something planned, and we saw them actually just bust onto the top site, and it was just simple utility usage just to get themselves into the vent and down and actually plant. I think they might be going that way again. However, they're not lining up for that squeaky door.
Well, they're ready just to go for the bust now. In come the flashes, and they can make their way to Tetris. In through Annex there, as Split is going to get his head ripped straight off here. Though playing at default, able to get one as he flings around. It's going to be Zorte to try to clean things up, but again, Fiku, look at the coverage. It's so damn good. Kenzie making a bit of noise. He's sharp today, but Fiku that little bit sharper. Picking up a 3K on the pistol, and AGO will take this T round.
That was such a fast round. I think there was always going to be posturing for something fast and explosive. That set of utility, I actually didn't see much of it come out in the latest session, other than that smoke into Annex, but it got them the result, and I think AGO here are definitely going to be rolling on with that. However, we know FORZE, they like to force.
Certainly do.
Yeah, I've gone for the force in this round. Couple of Deagles out. Kenzie and Flit have managed to pick one up a piece. There's the CZ as well. Obviously rounded out by the Scout and the MP9. So a little bit there to play with for FORZE. Not a whole lot of utility. That's probably the one detriment that you could note. And having already seen Fiku go down into the vents for AGO, things have started off nicely. Lots of map control. Furlan will make his cross and makes it quite comfortably in the end. So AGO will be able to get all 5 players down into the B-bomb site, and there isn't really that much of a defense set up. Kenzie dropped early on in the piece. 4 on 5 now, and AGO should be able to get them around from here quite comfortably indeed.
Yeah, Kenzie got put in a very rough position just outside of control. Thing to note as well, AGO, with that outers take, the smokes, they actually threw their own molly towards the back of Red to make sure no one was there, lurking or forcing the swing back out to either side of the outside area, but then smoking it as well just to enable that wall of smokes to come through.
And FORZE just happy to sit back here now too and get some exits if possible. Also save what they invested into this round, and I'm careful, they could get caught out here, and I think Furlan is going to chase that, but that was a mistake.
There's another gun lost. Fiku going down, so starting to get a little bit expensive for AGO. They do know where the last couple of CTs are, but Round doesn't seem to have any degree of eagerness to take the corner. Jerry rounds around. Swings around. Still there. The MP9. And to be honest, I kind of would take this if I was FORZE. They managed to pick up a couple of guns. The MP9 was retrieved. The Khalil goes back over to Flit. Scout's still there. It's workable.
You know what they say, what rounds around goes around, right?
That's right. That's what they say, Mac.
Yeah.
He'll come around. But in terms of that frag as well for Jerry, he also did it with the MP9, so he's picked himself up a little bit of cash bonus too. So again, we see them rolling into this. They haven't further invested though. They've actually just maintained those pistols where possible and also have just kept the scout to maintain some distance. So at least in terms of what we're expecting from them, there's no utility usage whatsoever. They're just going to try and take aim drills here, try and isolate any members of AGO that they can. But AGO are just working the map. They're giving a lot of respect, actually, to FORZE. They're trying to work out what exactly is going on here, what information, what weaponry do they actually possess in this round.
Nice shot from Furlan. That's going to open up the ramp room. Sorte's just swinging across with the scout, but is hidden behind a smoke now, so AGO have a reasonable degree of control of that area. And once again, another opener for Furlan. All of a sudden it starts to fall apart a little bit for FORZE. They seem to have decent pressure put onto AGO for a moment, but now the map's starting to open up. It's going to take something big from Jerry, and he can only get the one.
Well, Flit, he's been sharp with the deagle lately, and he's going to have to do some work with it all on his own. However, spotted with the jump pick. Furlan just jumping in, cleaning that one up. It's actually Fiku to spot it, but Furlan coming in as well with the Galil, finding the line. And a clean start for AGO as FORZE are going to be going into their first gun round.
Let's just see what they produce. Not surprising to see Zorte on that AWP, but lacking somewhat in the utility department. So what we saw from AGO though is their willingness to just set themselves some defaults there in terms of their strategy. They will try and work the picks first. We actually don't normally see them go into set smokes or anything like that early on. They actually do try and gauge some information first, particularly on that T side. But this, again, just looking to set themselves up for some routine here. And you do now actually see some outside smokes come out. They're just going to send that man into secret.
Okay, deep wall.
Yeah, might not just end up being one player across. There's three stacking around on outer. In fact, maybe at this point, no one will get across. Great spam through from Flit. Flit doesn't really have much to say about that at all, and so it'll be on to Snatchy and Rowland to make their way in.
Bit of noise made as that smoke was fading. I dare say Flit's heard it and communicated appropriately. Fiku going to be spotted there at the vent. Wall banged out to the 19 HP, but he will escape for the moment. Managing to get the timing onto Jerry, who's popped his way out of the vent. Now Berlin trying to look for the upper bomb site, but Almeza from here up at Mustang. The defense is a little too strong. AGO still 3 to play with. They may just end up going to the lower side.
Don't have a lot of time to do it with. 30 seconds to go. Fiku is definitely committed to staying at least up towards the top side of the map. He might wait for some rotations, catch someone off. That could be possible, considering Almeza is on 9 HP. And there's an AWP there as well with it, complete glass cannon. There's a lot of damage coming through from that Mac 10. Fiku is at least drawing a pretty large degree of pressure, but the real important fight is this one right here. If Kenzie gets nothing done, which he doesn't, that allows the bomb plan to go down for AGO, and all of a sudden the round, which was looking so good for FORZE, may actually still yet go the way of AGO.
That was the swing frag there. That was exactly what they needed to get into that bomb site now. But Fiku's still up. Fiku could really be a thorn in the side for the rotation. And that's exactly what he's trying to do, is pull that attention. In fact, now it's all left on Zorte, and there's nothing he can do.
How quickly that round just swings on the back of a nice little peek coming through from Fiku, Mac 10 causing a bit of a distraction up on A, and the one opener on B, and things just fall apart for FORZE. I mean, AGO 3 on 4, it looked like they were in dire straits with a couple of players particularly stuck in secret, and surely FORZE had a bit of an awareness that was happening, given they sent a player down towards B.
We see AGO do that a lot in mid-round, is actually they just pump the brakes.
That's good.
And they wait and see what happens, see if they can catch any CTs off in rotation. But it's a very patient, regimented style that we do see from them. So they're continuing out there. They know that FORZE, they do have a few X factors. They can get quite aggressive. They do have some firepower as well, particularly in the youngsters. So in terms of what they're up against, they know that they need to be patient and maybe just try and get some frustrations out on their opposition. But again, just another very, very slow round. Flit actually investing in this with the, I guess it's a Hero M4, because no one else really has anything.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, isn't it? It doesn't look like it's going to go well. Snatchy finding the kill onto Jerry with the AWP just peeking into his sightlines, and Round starting to slip away from FORZE again. This one a little bit quicker than the last, Mac.
Yeah, as we head to that minute mark, it's AGO, again, very slow, calculated approach to every move they're making. Flit, he's going to be standing in front of the CT vent, and I don't think this is going to go well for him. Reach is fully aware as he moves into the line. He's found another as well, so Zorte just with the deagle at long range, can't get much done. Kenzie, he's sharp, he's young. He's apparently got an attitude problem, which
Look,
he's got to be hit by Snatchy.
got nothing anymore.
It's a mood.
5-0. 5-0. I tell you what, if there is any attitude problems, as you say, I think they're going to start to appear right now. 5-0 down, things are not going too well. If anything's getting into your head, it's kind of starting pretty early on in the series, quite frankly. AGO did get to pick their map and have gotten Nuke in the pool first. So that's a good way to start off the series, I'd say, especially with the 5-0 start on the T side of Nuke. It's always, it's always one of those maps where people look at it and say, oh, well, CT started, whatever. Obviously not to the same extent that it used to be, but regardless of the scoreline, regardless of the side, whatever, if you're off to a 5-0 start, you'll take it. Doesn't matter what map you're on, doesn't matter what side you're on. It's great, but particularly T-side Nuke.
We've seen a lot of this over the last couple of days. Just, someone will start 4-0, then it'll go back to 8-4, just bouncing back. A lot of rounds strung together.
Adaptations, I suppose, being made from teams as they figure things out on the fly. At the moment, it doesn't seem like FORZE really has an answer for what XCOM AGO is throwing at them. I guess you could say, AGO, it hasn't been a flawless run so far, right? There was that 3-on-4 which was converted, which was great, but that round could have just as easily gone the way of FORZE, and maybe probably should have gone the way of FORZE. So I think maybe the scoreline is a little bit misrepresentative of how potentially one-sided this has been or not. So what Flit can do with Famas.
This is the round when FORZE need to put their foot down as well.
How many util?
Is he aware of the wrap from Credit? He seems to be. Shadow may be spotted in a moment if Rowland hangs around for too long. But it looks like he's in a very solid position to lurk from unless someone comes in from Annex. That could be the issue. Flit not going to spot the Shadow straight away.
He's definitely checking it, isn't he?
Rowland is just a splinter cell. He's been eliminated though, so that goes out of play. But both these two teams now just... Again, we see AGO just pumping the brakes. They take things very, very slowly in that mid-round, and then late round they have to hit it, they have to combust. Oh, Snatchy takes a lot of damage for his effort now, and Zorte goes one up here. This matchup was tantalizing with the Orps, but it's a youngster that's actually coming out ahead at the moment now. And, again, Zorte, he's just holding strong. Oh, as I say that, he's been flattened. 15 seconds left now for Fiku.
This is the issue coming out for AGO, is sometimes you leave it that little bit too late and you have to force the issue with, 15 seconds on the clock, and that's not what you want to do. We did actually see that boost coming out for Snatchy the other day be very successful indeed, but Zorte reading it like a book, just trained on the position.
Yeah, interesting to note too in terms of the map stats for these two teams. AGO have a 63% win rate across a relatively similar number of games as well. They've played 18 and 19 games respectively. FORZE have only got a 50% win rate, so I'm not actually going to say that AGO have a comprehensively better nuke. However, they're doing well considering they only get about 48% of their rounds on that T side. So this is all going very, very pear-shaped for AGO. In fact, FORZE have been the ones to take the aggression to them on the outside. Their Cinder's wall of smokes go down. And this is back to a 3v3.
You say that it's gone pear-shaped for AGO, and to an extent it did. FORZE were the ones to push the issue, but now we're into the 3-on-3. I mean, who does that ultimately favour? AGO were very, very good in the mid-round in previous rounds, and so I'm wondering that now there's a bit of extra space opened up. What can the AGO lads get done here? Almeza finds a very important aim duel that'll go his way, and if that doesn't, that could well be the round over. Now a bit of information given over here to Zorte as well. He knows that he's in a bit of a spot of bother, but if he finds the timing, Curling could just as easily drop. Rallen provides some space again, but straight away a trade comes through inevitably. FORZE maintaining the numbers advantage. Puts it back to 1-on-2. Rallen does at least have the bomb.
Ooh, that's front of Silo. You will be allowed to get that down. You can see that Zorte just waiting for Kenzie to get into an appropriate position. Looks like both the CTs are just going to go in together here. But Rallen, oh no way. Is he going to wrap? No.
I don't think he's got time to wrap, surely.
Playing the bomb.
They're going to expect him from this angle, that's for sure, but C has been spotted out. Now the info is given over. There's a HE nade, but this won't be enough to deny the defuse. In fact, it's going to do no damage at all. The tap comes through. Rallen takes a jump through the flash. It's not really an easy clutch for him at all. And so in the end, he'll fall. FORZE managed to put 2 on the board in a row. Not quite being able to salvage the economy just yet on that CT side. They're going to have to reinvest 3 guns here. So they'll drop down. But at least starting to show some signs of life.
Certainly are now. AGO, they've still got a relatively healthy economy themselves. Snatchy again, going to pick up that AWP, see if he can catch anyone from FORZE out. Now, particularly given that they've started to go a little bit more aggressive, I think that's actually a viable strategy. AWPing on T-side nukes, not normally the done thing, particularly if teams are more defensively minded, not willing to give away those opening duels. However, FORZE have shown that they are more willing to take those 4 duels. So I think AGO are actually doing quite well. As I said, given that they actually don't get the majority of round wins on their T side. So they're off to a good start.
Well, if the trend of stringing rounds together continues, FORZE should be up for a dub here in round 8. But that's calling it early. Looks like AGO are going to get Snatchy on the line there and lose him instantly. Zorte reading that one like a book.
Yeah, Zorte's definitely been a big difference maker, hasn't he? Finding a lot of impact frags. Once again, a spanner in the works now for AGO as they just work away from the powder. They don't have much control in lobby just yet. They're starting to take a bit of a peek around, I suppose, from Fiku now moving into Trophy. Things are starting to open up a little bit, but again, you know, the AWP, it's just such a problem for AGO.
Not only that, too, he's moved from Annex all the way back to Ramp. So not only that, he's playing a game of hide the AWP.
Dynamic, really.
Absolutely.
AGO seem a bit tentative at the moment, don't they? Smoke goes through on Squeaky. And some good tags from Almeza.
Not as good of a molly though.
Nah, he was just trying to molly vent.
Yeah, of course.
In case I was doing a vent drop, Mac.
Yes. I see you've played Nuke before, Jordan.
The more you know.
Yep. Oh, CT Dave Molly. AGO going to be trying to force their way out of Squeaky here. And a molly in the vent will signal that they should be going towards the upper side, but maybe with 30 seconds they're going to have to avert their focus. Reitz as well, going to be able to get that entry, and they're going down the vent. So only one person down towards the B site, that's going to be Zorte, and he's the last person you want to be running into. Reitz though.
This could be a huge lurk if Jerry doesn't spot him, but the angle's not too forgiving for Reitz, unfortunately. And in the end, AGO are back to the 3-on-2, the numbers disadvantage. Bomb plant will be enabled. Furlan waiting for the peek from Zorte. Won't get it just yet, but he's on the right angle.
AGO just leaving these moments so late in the round to get the bomb planted. Oh, there's a little hole in the door, and Rowland's going to use it to his advantage. Potentially going to wrap around into control.
He heard Jerry. He heard Jerry going past. He knows that he's here. He was prepared for that fight, but doesn't manage to land any shots. Now it's on the Furlan. Time starting to run out. All he has to do is hide. In the end, he takes the peak, and Zorte goes down. A huge clutch for AGO. It's not a, I gotta say, it's not a confident round. It doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence, but it is a round nonetheless. It's going to break the CT economy, at least put them back onto a half buy. And AGO are right back into the swing of things on the T side.
Well, the ball is just to wait so long to get that control utility over towards Mega and try to get that bomb planted with 3 seconds to spare. It's AGO leaving it so late. It reminds me of ye old days of Navi. That doesn't really. You know, you got Viku just running out of Squeaky. 3 entries.
Nice shot. Not a whole lot of pressure right now on AGO, and Snatchy is answering the call quite nicely. Jerry the last one alive, and AGO might well get through this round without losing a single player. Furlan is, I was going to say aware, but he didn't look like he was. Still, he spotted the feet of Jerry, and that's more than enough. 7-2. And once again, we're just back to AGO domination in the blink of an eye. It really doesn't feel like it was that long ago where FORZE was starting to make that build back and starting to come into their own on that CT side, but it's been ripped away from them so quickly. So a very important round coming up for the CT side right now.
Absolutely. That's just those 2 lone rounds. That's all they've got to write home about right now. And this is something that the CT side need. They need to take advantage of the fact that they are on CT side nukes. So this aggression from outside here, FORZE just hoping to meet with AGO and win some duels, because They have shown tendencies to send players towards Secret. However, that push from Jerry was more of an information push. He has now actually spurred action towards the top site, but no push on the back of that. AGO are just happy now with that player advantage to work the extremities of the map. And as we've seen them do many times before, pump the brakes and see what they can get on the rotation.
Oh, this could be a nice angle to set up on for Snatchy. Surely they're not expecting Zorte that close by, though. That could be something that works out, or even, if we keep an eye on Outer, Flit will manage to find a double. AGO, once again, are going to have to do it with a numbers deficit, and it might well come down to Snatchy finding the entry with that AWP. Aggression from the CTs into Trophy Room, and so the time is ticking for AGO. If they don't get into this A bomb site, they're going to be wrapped upon by those CTs from behind. That gets smoked off. But Kenzie's in the perfect position. FORZE have done very nicely. Trade comes through from Snatchy. The shotgun AWP is great, and Fiku saves his life. We're down to a 1-on-2 for Zorte.
A very heads-up play there. But Zorte, he's heard the vent drop. He wants to try to find the second man, but Fiku has the advantage from behind default on A. Oh,
I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting the sense that AGO is winning a lot of clutches.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right place, right time.
This could be a much closer scoreline if one or two of those had gone the way of FORZE.
AGO are just so much better in the mid-round, so much better in those 2 versus 2, 2v3, 3v3 situations. So when things break down, AGO are just have the upper hand, and that's exactly what their strategy is. It's just in the herd a little bit at the start with those default sets, and then from there, that's where they really do accelerate. And right now, Fiku even getting aggressive. We've seen him do this a few times now. Just take that aggressive pick, up the ante a little bit now. There's a little bit of trouble here for Rallen.
He does well to get one there, to be honest, and now it's going to make for an easy trade for Eats. So overall, FORZE, I was going to say not getting a huge amount done on this round, but maybe I've spoken too soon. Kenzie with the deagle as well chiming in, and all of a sudden, back down to the 2-on-1. Kenzie hits another. Fiku's thinking, what on earth has just happened?
Well, he's also on fire right now. So, with a minute remaining, bomb in his control, and 14 kills to his name already, he's probably not too worried, just hoping that FORZE continue this aggression that they've displayed round after round. And he'll just hold his control for now.
These Deegs, though.
Oh, yeah.
We saw this earlier, though. Let's now cast our minds back to the earlier matchup. Deegs came into play between these two teams, and let me tell you, there were a lot of rounds where FORZE were put back onto these forced buys, so they certainly had a lot of practice doing so.
Oh, the patience has not played out as Fiku planned. Proactive push from Kenzie all the way through outers, nets him an AK and the final kill, as well as a round for FORZE.
Very much needed for them. I mean, on the back of these Deegs, we've seen Kenzie and Sorte, the two youngsters, the two new additions to the roster, able to just turn that round back in favour of FORZE, when I think it's safe to say that AGO definitely had the upper hand. As we said, they've just stuck to their guns a little bit. Not to mention, too, also Flit being able to just hold down outside, make things a little bit more difficult for AGO than they've been in the previous rounds. But again, we just see this deep wall of smokes with AGO. They've taken different approaches, they've put different players in different positions here, but this looks to be more a concentrated secret hit.
Zorte is ready and waiting for them once again. This time Almeza through the smoke also grabs himself a freebie, but they were not expecting Furlan to recontest outer. That is perfection. The AWP being put to good use brings it again back to 3-on-3. I mean, consistently, FORZE are able to find the openers, but AGO almost always are returning the favour.
Very much equal to the challenge. Very much equal to it. And two being hit back through Furlan, the veteran. However, they haven't actually progressed too far from Secret, and I think they are very aware of this fact, as Furlan finds it third, so he really is opening this map now. As Kenzie finds a reply, and does allow them to get in. Zorte, though, doesn't need a scope to take things into his own hands, as Reitz has that 1v1, and, well, Zorte was just playing with his food, allowing his teammate to come through and cover.
Kenzie gets to heaven just in the nick of time.
It still doesn't feel like FORZE are out of the woods by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, the pistol round or the half-buy round that they did manage to win has given them a snowball's chance to actually make something of this first half. But it's not an easy task. It's still an uphill battle for them. any round loss, or even a significant amount of guns taken away in this round, continues to put them in such a poor position economically that AGO would really just run away with the first half. They've done the hard yards already, AGO, and it's now just a kind of a question and a case of managing to convert the half into, you know, something that's not just okay, but actually quite good. An 8 right now is, I'd say at the moment, okay. It's pretty decent, but if they can get it up to 10, if they can get it to double digits, then you'd be very, very happy with that. So, 4v4. Nice shot from Furlan. Need a little bit more like that, but Jerry on an off angle. Have to imagine gets at least 1 or 2 here. Especially if Furlan, 3 HP. Oh yeah, that's very good. Well done from Jerry. 3k spray down. And Fiku left on his own.
Yeah, with what we've seen from the Deagles lately, I was very worried Jerry would just go down to a couple of body shots, but
yeah,
did a really good job to find 3 in that position, close range against pistols. Fiku is all the way deep into CT. Gets his hands on the AWP and gets rid of it as well, knowing that the economy is not amazing at the moment for FORZE. This could be a bit of a saving grace. Going to take another fight, finds another head, expects the sweep from Freddy, gets the body tag, but he has to go for the reload, and it doesn't work out for him.
If he had an 8-bullet Deagle,
yeah,
that was a different round. But quite smartly, gets rid of that AWP, takes it out of the economy. We know that Zorte, yes, he's actually quite a dynamic player. They do like to see him flex onto the rifle. However, I really feel as though he accelerates on that CT side when he has an AWP in his hands, and he does have one. However, it's cost him a lot to get here, so it actually puts their economy on the brink. Not what they want towards the end of this half. They really need that 7-round mark. And, well, that's a great amount of damage on that first initial HE. They've taken so much from him. However, the set smokes aren't necessarily there as they were before. They do have numbers out towards Secret and Warehouse, so this is an outside presence from AGO we haven't actually seen before.
Well, Flit makes the final time. Big flash from his teammate coming from hell, but he goes for the swap, not expecting the second man. As Furlan spams towards that next, trying to find more. But Jerry's gone all the way to T-Roof.
But now they're locked in to outside. Even if Jerry falls back, they've still got to clear all those angles.
Just broken my brain.
Well,
they're locked into outside.
Exactly.
It's a good protocol check for AGO. What are they going to do from here? 50 seconds.
Welcome to the Galaxy Brain.
That's huge.
I can show you things never seen before, Jordan.
I'm sure you could. Any number of fancy shirts.
You'll hear things never seen before.
Furlan very quietly jumping up.
Maybe even smell colours.
Could be a big difference maker actually if you can get something done. Jerry has spotted out Rallen.
Oh.
But surely gets traded down. Oh, that's messy from Furlan. Now has to take the challenge and immediately gets banged through the floor. Ah, well, that's the round done and dusted. And it might actually well be the half starting to slip away from AGO in so much as 8-7. They're obviously still going to walk away with the lead out of the first half, but you just think the hard work that they put in, the great clutches that they had at the start of this half, don't feel as impactful when the scoreline's 8-7, and AGO have made a very, very nice comeback and started to build a bit of momentum here.
Once they got locked in to that outside, they unfortunately were out of utility.
Yeah.
So they had to try and spread, get those picks, and all FORZE had to do was turtle up and make sure they had everything covered. They had the number advantage as well, but as we see, I guess our first timeout come out, it's a super important round for FORZE. They need everything out of this half. They don't want to go down 9-6. As we know, when AGO go onto that CT side, that's where they win the majority of their rounds. It's only a narrow win percentage over their T rounds. However, they are better on it, and of course, this is their map pick too. So overall, they are the better team on Nuke. FORZE have got to give themselves every fighting chance.
And taking a tactical here is a good way to figure out what AGO would like to do. FORZE have everything going for them. And AGO, they've got, well, a Deagle in the hands of Snatchy, which could be dangerous. Maybe pass that over to Furlan after what we saw before. Reit's just with that Tech 9, so maybe that with the Mac 10, we may just be in for a faster approach, which is not something we're used to seeing from AGO. Oh, looks like it might actually be the bit of a reset there.
There was a technical pause for AGO, so not sure what exactly the issue is, but I believe it may have been resolved. You do see the investments coming through, and there's really not a whole lot to write home about for AGO, is there? It's not looking too good.
No.
Right, 10, Tech 9, Deagle.
There was one change. Galil got purchased instead of an AK.
Okay.
So,
A bit more util.
Util, yeah. See if they can put that to good use. Already firing a bunch of it onto Outer. There's that wall of smokes, and there's some util headed into Annex as well, but AGO, despite having used all the util, and I'm not out on the bomb site just yet. Zorte flash the Mac 10. It has enough firepower at the very least to get that kill, but Furlan does drop. Now Molly up onto Almeza. Interesting, lands into the ladder. Could be a big proponent of the success here for FORZE, as Jerry and Flit start to work their way through, and so too does the player on Rafters. Almeza clears out the A bomb site. Now Snatchy and Reeds have a lot of work to do.
Snatchy was meant to be the late flank here, and he's been found out.
okay.
However, he did get his player, so it's now down to a 2 versus 2, and the CTs are quite split.
Fast bomb planning B.
That's smart, because now they have to play that guessing game. They thought it was potentially upper, and now they're actually going to have to rotate this to this lower bomb site, chewing precious seconds.
Ooh, interesting from Snatchy.
I love it.
Hiding in Megaton. This will actually turn out to be quite a strong position given where the CTs are coming from. Out of control room. Look at the crossfire setup.
Yeah.
Reed's close by. If he doesn't get picked off, is going to be such a thorn in the side, and Snatchy should surely be able to finish it off on the swing. Gets the first. It's a 1-for-1, and that's enough. It buys the time for AGO, and there's nothing to be done for Flit but to stick to this defuse. Snatchy accelerates, and at the end it'll be 9-6 for AGO. A bit of a backwards and forwards half. We've still got a lot to look at though when we come back for the second.
I've never before. They don't really know about honesty, but they don't really grow. Honestly, I cannot be stopped constantly. Consciously is a part of me. I already know it's coming my way. Yeah, cold out of stone. Stay out of my lane. Yeah, leave me alone. This is my moment. Finally found what lights up my fire.
Second half kicking off. AGO and FORZE going head-to-head right now in ESEA Premier for season 37. It's the playoffs. This is the lower bracket final. And of course that means it is an elimination game. Right now, AGO are off to a decent but not amazing start on their choice of nuke. 9-6, I mean, you can't complain about it, but the way they started, I think it leaves you wanting more.
Yeah, I think they had the opportunity to win a lot more rounds if it wasn't for the Desert Eagles of FORZE. But also, I think FORZE, on the back of that round, really started to bring themselves into this match. So, yeah, you're right. It could have been a lot better. It could have actually been maybe an 11-4 half.
Yeah.
But they now switch sides onto that CT, and they are in the driver's seat.
End of the day, 9-6 is more than enough, particularly on your T side of nuke. So if they're going to win on nuke, you know, they should be able to get it done at a 9-6 scoreline. You know what I mean? Might have made it a bit easier one way or another, but as you just get it over the line, who really cares what happens in the first half? And Snatchy putting on a bit of a USP masterclass. The only inroads so far for FORZE have come from Flit, and Flit no longer. He is dead. It's just Jerry.
Flat.
Very true. Jerry also joining the ranks of dead, and there you have it.
Yep.
AGO into the double.
Look,
Dijotes.
it's probably not a bad analogy because I do feel like they kind of just got steamrolled in that pistol.
Flattened.
Got it. 10-6. So AGO probably not too concerned with the first half scoreline if they can continue to look like that on the CT side. Do have the alligator out for Reeds.
Oh, you love to see it. If only MC was here,
You might be watching.
he could be watching. Well, let's see what Rowland can do. Org long range. Very proficient with this weapon over towards Outers. For slow approach. Zorte. Probably not going to get too much further than red here.
Not too happy about it either, it seems like.
Looks like they're just happy to play around. Maybe have a chit-chat on what to do in the next round or so.
An unofficial tack.
Yeah.
It's not really something we see all that often anymore. I feel like it used to happen a lot, like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, eco rounds like this are the ones where they just sit back and spawn a little bit. But they're just going to line up here on Annex Wall and Rowland. Well, off the line now, but...
Ooh, they missed the run boost. But Rowland not going to spot this wrap coming in from underneath. And there at Unbreakable, you are going to see Rowland find himself the triple. Quickly, Snatchy chimes in. And it's only one kill they'll find in the end. Ooh, just barely retrieved. Go Gadget Arms.
A little foot race to that org. Rowland, no. We've seen a lot of teams do this on that CT side. If they want to keep their opponents at arm's length away, they will just back off and go for that org. So, Alligator still in play.
Yeah, didn't really get to see much from that last round. Very quick in the lobby for FORZE, but it's so close by with the XM. Bigu controlling outer. A bit of information on offer right now for AGO on that CT side. Bigu hasn't seen anything. So he'll start to work his way back into the A bomb site. Expecting a push in from lobby rather than on outer. They end up proving to be false information though, because 3 players have been sent to outer for FORZE. Rowland now might have his hands full. AK taps put him down to 50 HP. We'll need to be very careful now.
Just a little bit too low there, missing the headshots. But Rowland finished off eventually by Almeza. Fiku has wrapped his way to Secret, and it's a matter of timing with flash from his teammate enabling the peak. Snatchy spotted there as well, so world of information. Almeza rather, as Reese goes forward. There
juicy.
it is. Crocodile snapping.
I think they wrote a song about that one.
See you later, Alligator.
That's the one I was thinking of. Flip 1v4. Very quickly, this round has fallen apart for FORZE. That helps. At least does a little bit of damage to the CT economy, and I guess at this point it's less about finding the round win and more about getting something for FORZE. One more kill, and you still walk away disappointed, but you feel like you've had some degree of impact on the game, at the very least.
Well, with that smoke at Annex, it's drawn a world of attention for the moment from AGO. However,
10 seconds.
you can see Flit. He's run out of time. He realizes it, and he knows that the AK could be crucial in the next round, so just decides to keep it alive into round 19.
FORZE really struggling to find success. They have been running into brick walls. And I mean, it's not even anything it's not even anything complex. It's just, you know, simple CT play, flash, peek. Rowland's drawing a good amount of attention away. It actually allowed Fiku to come through secret as well. So they're just being picked apart by smart CT play. But we come into this round, Tech 9s, we've got the Mac 10, we've also got that AK. This is a faster paced round, so hopefully the Disruptor...
Well, Mac 10s and Tech 9s. Well, it's actually just the Tech 9s reigning supreme. 3 quick ones, and the A site has been taken. 20 seconds in, and Fiku has made his way to heaven. Rowland coming in on the flank, but I dare say they've got enough rounds just to keep the AK and M4 alive into the next and enable a full buy for AGO. Charity round, really. But FORZE upgrading to 2 of the AKs at least that were held onto in the previous round from AGO.
Well, the first time AGO has struggled against the pistols in this map.
Trying to retrieve
Trying to get the gun.
weapons.
You could see as well, either someone had missed the jump or they were going for a bit of a different close range hold. So 2 players getting stuck at Tetris up against Tech 9s. It seemed like FORZE just the right call at the specifically right point. Through the smoke, Almeza spots that. Okay.
CT economy is not fantastic either. So they're going to have to forego, in some instances, some utility. But another round win for FORZE, and that could be the CT economy on edge. I mean, look at Snatchy's money. Certainly hasn't got enough. For Furlan as well, also struggling. So
It might be a half buy for AGO here. I was looking for that AWP at the end of the round. Couldn't obviously save his AK. He really would have loved, you know, if not the AWP, at least the AK. But
Yeah.
now it's just down to the pistols for AGO. And it's not even so much as a half buy. It's really just pretty much an eco. The Eagle for Fiku is the biggest investment in this round so far.
Yeah, if they keep that money mega healthy, then the next round should be an earlier buy. So good to see the patient approach from AGO.
carpet bomb outside.
Airstrike does not connect this time.
Pretty ambitious.
Yeah, FORZE has been aggressive, but not that aggressive. So now just back to some pistol magic. We've seen Fiku whip up some hot and fresh shots out of the kitchen, but Flit's also working the other extremity of the map. So FORZE doing a good job now of just turtling up, making sure they're not being picked apart. This is keeping it clean and easy.
Very easy indeed. There was a knife from Snatchy somewhere.
There was a knife.
Squeaking. Did he come up the vent?
That's
was he
nice, actually.
Maybe.
It's afforded him extra bit of armor there. Snatchy would have had to go glass cannon were it not for that knife kill. Doesn't really help him with the tilt, but we'll take that. Not a bad buy for AGO right now.
Yeah, Snatchy was on 2K.
Best person you could have put a knife on, to be honest. Just another tap from Fiku, and that would have been the end of Almeza, but Jerry's getting a bit of work done on out of here, creeping up quite close. Snatchy's made some noise. Ooh, I'm sure he spotted Jerry, and I think that info was presented to Furlan, who now has a bit more of a job to do. 2 kills for Furlan in this round is enough, at least to stabilize things for AGO. 2-on-2, bomb is down in the A-bomb site. Fiku wrapping in toward Annex could actually be a very nice position to play from, particularly with Snatchy's rotation here as well. I don't know that FORZE will be expecting these 2 players from the directions they're coming from. Almeza, timing works out for him, and the fact that Snatchy missed the shot helps him out. Was that a rifle for Snatchy? He was dead, but 23 HP more than enough. Now Fiku, what can he do? 1-on-2.
Double flash. Just baiting for the info. Slowing Fiku down for the moment. Flash over the top of Hut here. Nice little poppy, but it's not going to find a single person. However, he's managed to flick onto both of the T players, and there's time for the defuse. In what world does Fiku win that? In this one.
Well, a world where it seems like AGO just can't lose a clutch. That's the world.
What?
How many times? You know?
Yeah, we've seen them come through quite a few number of times here, and it's just broken down to 2v2s. And even those 1v1s, they've just had the upper hand, and the amount of rounds that they've won there, it's come down to some individual brilliance, but But, I mean, let's just remember that AGO were outplaying FORZE for the majority of the first half. So it does help to win some clutch rounds like that. Maybe in the context of this match, those will be the difference. But FORZE aren't out of this just yet. They've got a buy coming in. Zorte on that AWP to see if he can make a difference. Reed's back on the alligator, so expect him to be playing in that close hut position.
Just looking up PQ's settings.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Find anything good?
So 1.6 cents, 400 DPI. Nothing else really crazy about that.
No.
240 hertz monitor.
That's crazy.
Crazy. I don't even see a res here. What's going on? Give me a different site. Huh?
Well, there's another one for Piku, so you might have to keep that research rolling. Pretty important for AGO to actually win this round. I mean, look at their money. Look at their buy. Comes down to the 1-on-2 clutch, and they do win it, but definitely doesn't drag them out of a sticky situation just yet. It's like they're in quicksand. They continue to get sucked down, but maybe someone has thrown them a branch. Kenzie rips it right away from them, though. Back to the 3-on-3, and the hard yards must continue for AGO. Reitz very close for the XM, and bomb is out in the middle of nowhere. Someone's going to have to go and collect that, and Reitz could well find them. Snatchy doesn't want to roll around this corner. This would be the perfect time to just slow things down for AGO, but they don't. Reitz continues forward. Snatchy waiting patiently, really needs to find the timing here and can't. Zorte opens it up very nicely for FORZE. That could have been so horrible. Lobby control was there for AGO. All they had to do was wait. And they didn't. They weren't patient enough, but Piku, I was going to say, could potentially clutch this one out. Flip was watching as he crept up the vent. 13-9. Once again, we're back to an eco round for AGO. And this one looking even worse than the last.
They couldn't slip the net. They couldn't slip the night watchman. That was Zorte. He had the backs covered. But most importantly, FORZE find themselves in a position of economic advantage. So how far will they be able to run with this? The shotgun theme is continuing here for Snatchy, just with the pump action.
Love the old Nova. Let's see if it gets any damage done. Looks like it's going to be positioned in behind the rest of the CTs. Trying to play close to Squeaky Door. Flit, he's just going to be going in off the back of the nade, using it as a bit of cover. Deagle close range though. Reed's going to be able to get himself an upgrade. Snatchy in the corner. The update and switch is going to be close enough to get the free kill. 900 buckaronis in the bank. Kenzie though, already down in the halls, able to stop Snatchy from sneaking his way down. Jerry, nice couple of shots on the Reeds. Hidden on the top of the hut. And Fiku, last alive at a 1-on-3.
Has a deagle though.
Keeps getting put in these clutch situations. And I understand why. Sneaky. Lurking his way late into Annex, which was just cleared by FORZE.
And smoked. Will it be watched though?
Ooh, not just yet, Jerry. This other side. Oh! An isolated fight, but Fiku unable to connect this time. Down to 15 HP, rerouting to heaven. Just giving it a red hot crack.
I mean, bomb's not yet down, so he's definitely got the time to work with Deagle in hand, 15 HP. It doesn't look likely. It's always a chance, but not this time. 10 up for FORZE. They managed to get to double digits. And we continue with a string of pretty close games in ESEA Premier Playoffs. Well, season 37. It's been a pretty consistent thing. And it didn't really look like that was going to be the case. I actually thought that AGO was going to run away with it the way that the second half started. But FORZE, once again, have mounted a very, very nice comeback. And I almost want to say they deserve to get this one, you know, even closer than it is.
Well, the other day, from what I remember, I think it looked quite one-sided. Then FORZE came back, brought it to about 10-10, and then AGO just sacked on 6 rounds in a row and closed out Nuke to get the W in that best of 3. So that may be why they've opted to go for Nuke as the first, or as their pick in this series today.
I feel like that's how it is with the current meta though. Teams just are able to stack on rounds for a short run until the economy builds up and then the tide changes basically. That's exactly what happens when FORZE get themselves into a match. It's just that one swing round. AGO might be able to get themselves back in control here. Only on pistols though, and again another Nova round for Snatchy.
Yeah, it's a really, really rough looking economic situation for AGO this half. I don't know how many times they've been on eco. This is probably the fourth.
It's at least the third.
Oh, Furlan peeks into the firing squad, and FORZE just walk their way out on the A site. AGO probably just looking for some exits. His Flit's going to be knocked down to 5 HP, make it 0. Rallin now fast towards the AK, but it's going to be someone jumping up onto the top of warehouse there. Numbers, the strength of them for AGO. And Kenzie decides against it, although makes it seem like the idea.
Pick the pocket.
The feet in the night.
He's waiting patiently for the push to come through from Kenzie. Could be another big four. Going in the back pocket of AGO, but not quite sharp from Kenzie in the end. 13-11. Another buy to come here for AGO, but it's starting to feel like time is running out for them. Eventually, FORZE is going to catch up. So it's not necessarily now or never for AGO, but in a couple of rounds' time, it will be.
Just a wide swing and a run.
EU online peak.
Yep.
Kenzie the God. To be fair, it looked like it was a wide swing, but he was jiggling up until that point.
Yeah.
Now, FORZE stroll over to an 11th round. You've got Fiku playing close there at Outers, and he has heard all this information. No one being sent down to lowers yet, unless that's where Snatchy's heading. Giving up ramp at the start of the round as well, because FORZE has not been in that position for a damn while. So AGO making the small adaptations just when necessary. Rallin as well from the back of warehouse, finds himself the double. Jerry answers with another, but reads from the top of hut. Trades it nicely. Zorte, close range, using the opposite shotgun. And Fiku as well covers the angle.
Zorte 1 on 3. You'd have to imagine this is going to be a bit too much for him. Especially given his position is known. Snatchy plucks it out. 14-11. What a setup from AGO though. Rallin in the warehouse. Perfect crossfire with the player in Annex.
Yep.
The old dancing pole position.
They didn't get baited by that rotation to B bomb site. As you said, there was nothing going on at ramp, so they had their players in the perfect positions, it felt like, for what FORZE threw at them.
It seemed like there was a moment there where Fiku would have been spotted in Annex, but maybe that just got forgotten with the chaos of the situation as well, because whoever that was running out of Squeaky over the site just ran with his head looking away from Annex there.
Just hoping the situation had been dealt with by the two players outside, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
One step closer for AGO. Seems to be at the moment that FORZE are putting 2 steps forward, 1 step back, if that makes sense. But do they have enough time if that continues to be the case, or will AGO inevitably get there just a little bit faster than FORZE does?
Looking for some outside control here with that set smoke. Actually going very deep into spawn to need to throw them as well, but that'll allow the two players to go through secret. The bomb will remain in T lobby though. Just to see what they can get. They are going to get to that lower bomb site with about 30 seconds to spare, so let's see what they do from there. I think it's just going to be something nice and simple, like a split through the vent to lower. But that bomb hasn't moved.
Oh, Snatchy survives and then punishes Jerry.
They need to do more to bait out this rotation.
20 seconds, guys. They have 20 seconds to get into this bomb site right now. Vent drop does manage to occur for at least the one player, but there's a molly down as well. Rallin is in the perfect spot to just absolutely cook this for FORZE. The bomb plant is successful, but how successful really is this for FORZE? Surely this is the dying breath. Rallin has decided to pull a grenade out. That hasn't worked for him. Almeza covering well, but he has to do it himself now. 1 on 3 with 2 HP, and just a flashbang to his name. This would be an astronomical clutch from Almeza, but it's not possible. Snatchy confident enough to take the peak, and that will be enough to put AGO up to 15. So overtime secured, bare minimum here on Nuke. But the way that they're playing, it looks like we might be seeing the end of the map pretty quickly.
Well, Snatchy, the MVP of that round, not only for killing 4 people, but dropping that molly at the perfect moment to force 2 players to run through it. I think it was Zorte who ended up planting. He had 10 HP to play with from the back of default there, and nothing really went right there. So FORZE trying to play AGO's game with the late bust, but AGO, they know it too well.
They were flame grilled by the time they got into that bottom site. Now, they took a lot of time to get there, though, when they were going back into spawn to throw smokes with 44 seconds left. It's going to be a matter of time before they had to press go. They wasted a lot of time, to be honest, in that transition. They waited, I believe, for Jerry to just get that info as he tried to push through Annex, but can't be the case. It just ate up so much time. Too much utility left on AGO. But looking into this round, they don't have a lot of utility to work with this time. In fact, they've burnt the majority of it, just getting themselves into the current positions, but picks like that are certainly going to help.
Just jiggling, getting that one. Rallen answers with another spam through the smoke back, but Flit from the top of Annex finds another headshot on the Snatchy. Now, Snatchy was the key piece of the puzzle last round. We'll see if this crossfire around Annex works, but Furlan, he's hungry. He wants some information. He's going to be sliding underneath Annex, knowing a player's still above it.
Reeds is hearing all the info, knows there's some players headed in his direction. Answers well, a double for Reeds, and he's still alive somehow. Zorte can't get it done, but AGO can. 16 is up on Nuke, and the map goes their way. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be back in just a minute.
Heavens are the limit now. Let's fly just one more night. One more night. And I just wanna be someone and never fall behind again. Just keep on moving on. Never look down. Never fade out. Never fade out.
There's no defense, I'll buy it if I want it. I'm going supersonic, come on, beg for it. Alright, okay, running out of luck, too much in my cup, Nishi run it up. Why you always tripping like you top, cause you not my team pop. Shorty, I know, why you always tripping like you top, cause you not my team pop, my team pop. Who really got the block, sipping to rock in a cup, They say they wanna party with us 12 X and how much be that poofy, it's a la. My feature price bigger than your bank account. You talk about it, but don't show us that about.
16-11 the scoreline for AGO as they do pick up their map choice of Nuke. FORZE, I felt like worked hard. They fought hard on that map, but they just didn't quite have enough. There was a few too many clutches, a few too many individual step-ups from the AGO members, and ultimately we find ourselves at a 1-0 lead for AGO. Maybe that's not unexpected, given the fact that AGO did choose Nuke. Not sure what your thoughts are on that one, lads, but already a good start for AGO, and it seems that we're headed in the same trajectory as we might have hoped to have been.
Yeah, well, I really liked what we saw coming out from FORZE, even though AGO took their map pick, and I think we may be on road for what we saw the other day, which is a very close Mirage, and then if we get over to Ancient, that's when AGO could be in trouble. So FORZE, they need to be looking towards Mirage. They need to just pick up the pieces, put them all back together again and start from scratch, because AGO, they only need to win one more map to book their ticket to the grand final.
FORZE were under the pump in the first part of this map too, and they really struggled to get themselves into that map. And they were they had a late resurgence in that first half, and I feel as though that's where they got the majority of their rounds. However, once it switched sides and AGO were on that CT side, things just really started to slip away from them. Always, we're going to point out the fact that this FORZE, I feel as though, is doing it tougher than they did in the group stages of Premier. They went through undefeated. They didn't drop a map, and now they're coming into the playoffs here, and they're in the lower bracket. They're dropping maps. They're playing in, I guess a more high pressure situation. So that's maybe where some of the youngsters are starting to struggle a little bit because they don't quite have that experience. However, these are the sort of situations where they can start to prove themselves. And heading into Mirage, I think that's exactly where they need to step up.
Was there anything to really touch on there from the individual side of things? I mean, I'm watching these AGO plays, I'm watching the clutches that they get, and I think, yes, it's good to see them getting these kinds of rounds, but I'm not sure that is what you can really rely on heading on to Mirage. So maybe if those individuals stop firing, is there something for them to fall back on? Is that even potentially a good sign in a way? I'm trying to be the devil's advocate here, trying to grasp at straws maybe for FORZE, and say that, well, to be honest, I feel like FORZE actually played a pretty good game at Nuke. It's just that they weren't able to sort of get some of those rounds over the line, even despite looking like they should. So I thought they were putting themselves in the right spots, but they just couldn't convert.
Yeah.
So I'm still I think I still got a bit of faith here for FORZE.
Yeah, I got a lot of faith for FORZE. That's what I was saying as well. Is Nuke is just one of those maps for FORZE where it doesn't look as strong as what the other two maps in the series are going to be. So if AGO did get, away with 4 or 5 of those rounds that got them over the line, which were clutch rounds, then if they went the other way, we would have just seen FORZE take the first map of the series and then maybe set themselves up for success. So really, I'm not going to be surprised if we go to 3 here. I just need to see if they can mentally recompose themselves before we head over to Mirage.
Mac said if they do manage to get that second map and does push us through to Ancient, he's going to undo one more of those buttons.
I'll do it.
Stick around for that if they do manage to push us through to map number 3. For now, though, we do have to take a break. We'll be back in just a second for Mirage.
If you want to know what you're good at and, well, also what you suck at, check out CSGOHub.com. Coming!
Yes, my shot, my friend.
Cheaters ruining your plays?
I am the enemy.
Bad servers stopping your shots? What you need is ESEA. Advanced anti-cheat to stop cheaters. And the best servers around, all with 128 tick rate. ESEA, the best way to play CSGO.
breaks the down with your battle cry. Strong enough that you know how to hide. No, you don't have to hide. You're strong
Welcome back. This is the ESEA Premier Season 37 playoffs. We're in the EU division and things are getting a little bit exciting in our lower bracket final. AGO have managed to pick up the map victory, fellas. Does mean that FORZE obviously really need the win here on Mirage to push us through to Ancient, which Mac, you reckon might go well for them. So there is a little bit of spiciness involved here. One thing to note, as we do head into Mirage here, is that the man is stepping in for Reitz, so a little bit of change up for AGO. Of course, a big fan of LeMan, I mentioned.
He's the man, the myth, the legend.
The legend. Lol, the legend?
The legend. But no, we've seen him actually step in for FORZE before.
Yep.
For AGO before on the previous matchup. So I feel as though he's a bit of a Mirage specialist. At least coming in, they have that six-man roster, so they've got the ability to change in players based on play styles for the map. Actually quite a handy A-site anchor on the CT side, so we've seen him certainly contribute to many key rounds for them, and I think he's going to be needed here.
Yeah, I'm starting off on the CT side for AGO. I suppose the stakes aren't quite as high for AGO right now as they are for FORZE, because they do sort of have that second life if they drop this one, move on to Ancient. But in the series that AGO and FORZE played earlier on in the competition, that map of Ancient was the only one that FORZE picked up, so...
Speaking of picking up, Jerry just had to go back late into T-spawn. He forgot his Glock.
It happens to me all the time as well. I have to go home and get my Glock too. But
are you strapped?
And I'm strapped as gnarly.
Well, Almeza has thrown the flash, and Zolte hasn't full committed, but he's got the bink. Okay, a P250 wallbang to under Balk. Oh, all right. Well, this match off is off to a bang.
Oh, man! Only able to get the first. A little bit of whiff on the first couple of shots and didn't help him out for the second player that swung. In the end, it's looking like it might end up being quite a comfortable victory here for FORZE on the pistol. Furlan and Fiku have wrapped across, but both are in the CT spawn, and one of them has been spotted out. Spoke about Fiku being pretty sharp, but now Furlan chimes in with one as well. Bomb plant not yet down. He starts to get a bit more desperate for FORZE. Fiku, 27 HP for the punch, but he is hitting everything at the USP right now. 2 kills already, and Kenzie will not be comfortable rolling around this corner, but he does get it done for FORZE. A bit too close for comfort.
Oh, that just broke down to individual firefights there. Funnily enough, the 4 versus 2 advantage didn't feel like it was going to be enough.
Did you see what happened? They were trying to fake the A hit to go out B, and then all the CTs rotated, and then FORZE came back, and then almost lost all their players before the bomb even had a chance to get planted. So FORZE could have found the B site for free. I think we're very lucky there.
We're all still reeling at that P250 wallbang. Floor bang in this instance.
I don't think I've ever seen that happen.
Not on a pistol round.
I've clustered a lot of Counter-Strike.
Seen it with the Deagle, not with the P250.
Yeah. Well, Force Buy has come through for AGO, and Snatchy, scout in hand, already has the info, and now a headshot to boot. Oh my word, Snatchy, take a bow. A double kill with the scout starts things off phenomenally for AGO in round 2 of Mirage.
Low Flit answers as he does get let run up short. However, he's going to reroute back through Con, expecting the potential rotation already. But Berlin up in Palace in a very key position to try to retake the A site.
He's heard those footsteps, that's for sure. Flit up on top of a balcony. His position well and truly known. It's on Berlin, but he doesn't get the chance to fire a shot. Still, Snatchy is hitting everything with the scout at the moment, and everything is almost always a headshot.
just a one-man wrecking ball at the moment with that scout. But now back on an A-bomb site, so it's only Rallon that was going to hold down B. However, the T's are going to regroup.
Time is a factor now.
Absolutely. Looks like they're going to go through short here towards B, so this is where Rallon's really got to step it up.
The man's on the way over. Really get there in time. Snatchy can't see through that smoke, obviously, and so FORZE have managed to get into the B bomb site, but Rallon remains unseen. The man might have made a bit of noise in market. Can't get anything done, and so now 15 seconds on the timer. FORZE will be able to get the bomb plant down. Snatchy! Surely we can't ask for more from the man, but it feels like he might need to do it himself. There is just an MP9 for the man, but Snatchy says, I don't need you, I don't need help. Finally, someone else gets something done. What a round from Snatchy, though.
4 kills and an assist, almost all 5. That is complete ridiculous. And 4 of those shots were nice little headshots with the scout too. So couldn't ask for too much more from him. And AGO are going to win their force fight.
And, I mean, you can't ask for more from a player, really. He's done it all in that round, and you could just tell that FORZE really did struggle in that late round. I mean, great work from AGO, particularly Rallon as well, not to face. He made them clear the whole site.
Took him a long time to do so.
Before he got in, so that just bought up more time and actually allowed the rotation to come through. So, FORZE, not surprising to see them force. This is what they do.
Oh, AGO was able to force and win last round. Off back of some heroics, though. It's not looking as comfortable for FORZE here. They've only got the flashes to get them into sites now. No smokes, no mollies, and speaking of which, there's some for the CT side over on B. Well done from Rallon to do a quick 180 and deal with Flit as well. FORZE are not looking like they're going to get into B at all. Great util usage from the CT side, and that is how you lock down an anti-force.
Oh yeah, AGO sending a message nice and early on Mirage.
I wonder if Snatchy might get scouted for better teams.
You reckon he's going to get snatched away from AGO?
Come on, Mac. Throw something in, go matchy-matchy with us.
No. Not yet.
That was matchy.
I'm just here for the 1-deeks.
How's your voice today? A little bit scratchy?
Yep.
It's good to see we've got our old dynamic back.
What do you want from me, Jim?
Just the world,
Anything.
Mac. Just the world.
I'm just here for the vocals, you know. Ooh. Ah.
Acapella.
Oh. You know?
Macapella, even.
I'm pretty much just a soundboard.
We did get into a bit of that in the ESL Pro League last time we were doing overnight shows.
Oh.
Don't know if anyone wants that back.
Macapella or soundboarding?
Macapella soundboard. Bit of both. Kind of everything. Either way, AGO's got everything done so far on Mirage. There was a little moment of hope for FORZE, but 3-1 so far, and AGO building up that CT economy.
Yeah, into round 5. And FORZE are back on the guns.
Certainly are, with the smokes going down in mid. At least going to create the illusion of a presence as they back towards A here for that bust through the smoke.
Looks like that's what's going to happen as well. One smoke towards the top of con, no flashes, full dry push all the way out, and Jerry, he's going to be able to get an entry at least, but look at the mop-up. It's a 30-second round with what would have been a 5-second execute before they got shut down. FORZE not finding anything at the moment.
Fiku, the turret, he took 3. Just like that. If you don't...
said it. That's a tilter of a round.
Oh.
For sure. Someone's going, why did we do that? Like, why did we do that?
Why did they show no presence towards mid? We threw 2 smokes there. It wasn't enough to draw their attention.
Well, AGO, big brain. Saw a bit of that on the Nuke CT side as well. It felt like a lot of instances where they either gambled correctly or put their players in the right positions, and FORZE came to them. So they're reading the play quite nicely so far in this matchup.
These two teams are very well prepared for one another. They do get a good number of reps out.
Well, 4-1. Off to the races for the CT side right now. Money continues to build up. Every single player above 5k, most above 6k. So there's another buy or two in the back pocket of AGO right here. It's not going to be an easy task for FORZE. It actually falls off the line in mid. It is just another eco round coming out for FORZE.
Just to give you some insight too, 78% win percentage on Mirage in the last 3 months. They've also played it 32 times.
That's pretty impressive. And I tell you what else has been pretty impressive is FORZE's ability to get work done with the Deagles today.
Yep.
That's probably been the one detriment, the one negative downside that you could talk about for this AGO roster, at least as far as Nuke was concerned.
Well, it's just getting dominated by some Deagles.
Yeah, a couple of times. Well, Tech9 was one. But I don't want that to happen again, and it's starting to show some signs. Iku is able to win the all-important aim battle. If he would have fallen, so too does the A-bomb site. But now he can hold on to things, build a bit of a crossfire setup. Snatchy close. Not expecting the Glock right there, and that is not where you want to be. Glock in the head. And again, it's just a round that's starting to slip away from AGO. And it's only pistols, guys. How does this happen? They absolutely dominate the guns. But pistols are something else. And that's something else that AGO can't really deal with.
It's not the player you want to hand the AWP to either, Zorthe.
No, that's for sure.
I mean, Fiku's quite a capable player, but this is a big ask.
Shouldn't have to be all on his shoulders right here. A lot of info for Flit, so he'll take the
Well,
and now Zorte has no armor.
The thing you got to remember is Fiku wins these. So we've seen that a few times tonight, and he's looking to do it yet again. Plenty of time, going extremely quickly over towards the B side. Zorte posted on the line, and he's going to stop him in his tracks this time. FORZE able to pick up a second.
It's not what they want, though. I mean, it wasn't anything special. There was no investment coming out, really, from FORZE. I mean, we know they do work with these Deagles, but you can't allow them back into this. I feel as though there's been a few rounds here where AGO have definitely let, and going back to Nuke as well, where they've definitely let FORZE back in on the back of some force buys. So, failed flash for the low ramp, but there's nobody there. So, you can see that AGO, they actually rotated off the B site. And now they're showing presence back towards B, but it's just a slow, mobile approach here.
Can't be doing that. The grenade's going to finish him off. Surely one of them missed. The other one went a bit too deep. Somehow Snatchy's alive, but barely. Fiku drops on the A-bomb site as well. So the man having been deleted.
They've just called a save as well.
Oh, but not quite yet. Look where Furlan's coming from, just coming right from behind an underpass at the perfect moment, brings to the 4v3, lots of damage done already. Snatchy with another, and now a chance in the round. So, bomb just gets planted, and there's some time for the retake. It's only Furlan looking for it, though.
A couple of smokes for AGO was definitely on the cards, but they've decided that they're not interested. Money's in a bit of an awkward spot, but if they do save the 3 guns here, they can get a pretty decent buy-through.
Yeah.
So it makes sense for the CT side, but you just think about how different this first half could look if AGO wouldn't have dropped that previous round to the Eagles. You know?
I guess the same could be said for Nuke as well. Certainly would have been as close a map.
Yeah.
These teams just so evenly matched.
I mean, to FORZE's credit, they've been working very, very hard in this series, so feels like they do deserve some degree of reward. AGO leaving the door just slightly ajar, and it's been kicked right in by FORZE. They're back 4-3. Why to come for AGO, and we'll see if they can slam that door shut again on an unwelcome guest.
Forced entry.
Forced entry. I get it. I actually get it. You made it.
I'm proud. I'm proud.
Force. It sounds like force. Wow, that is a shot from Almeza as well. Just as the smoke pops. Jerry in a very weird position. There's a lot going on in this round. Lots of players hiding in smokes that would end up working or sort of backfiring. There is one of them, Laman and Rallen finding a killer piece. And Rallen in connector is a huge thorn in the side for FORZE. Not quite able to get the three. And Kenzie very sharp. Man, the shots that are going down right now on Mirage are all over the place. Everyone is hitting everything. But it's on to Snatchy. And he sees the head. Oh no! Again, what a shot from Snatchy. He's got a magnet.
What is this game? Just action, chaos, going everywhere. This is just Mirage to a T.
Ludicrous. Snatchy won't be ballsy enough to take the peak, but falls into CT. I mean, there's so much time now for Kenzie. He could go anywhere. He could be anywhere at this point already. So what does Snatchy do? Obviously, he has to gamble on one of the bomb sites. We'll stay on A, which might work out nicely for him. Up on stairs. Oh, the timing was so good for Snatchy. At least that gives him the info. Bait plant from Kenzie. Snatchy not baited by it just yet. Will start to creep his way forward. Now recognizing this is great from Snatchy so far. Has given himself the space to work. Shotgun. But the rifle is superior, and Kenzie picks up 3 hugely impactful frags in that round to bring it to 4 apiece.
Snatchy had all the info then too. Saw the shadow after the plant. Just waited to potentially take a better shot. Didn't actually get that away. But my oh my, two big impactful players coming head to head in that 1 versus 1 clutch. And again, it's all coming down to these clutches between these two teams.
It's just a matter of rounds until the swing point happens again as well. You see AGO just going for the force buy, knowing that FORZE's economy is, well, pretty much in the bin after losing so many players round after round. Fiku unable to hold here over towards the A site, and now FORZE, they're going to hit the accelerator. Jerry with another entry, he pulls out the knife and Snatchy misses that opportunity, and he's not going to get another as well. Jerry knocks him down a notch.
And AGO, they'll be ruining the day that they lost to the Deagles.
Oh, that was knife territory.
Definitely was. What more can Furlan get here, though? Flash out into mid. Meza takes the time to peek, and it works out nicely for him, but inevitably Furlan just a little bit better. He's dismantling FORZE 1 by 1. Split very low on HP, would have to be careful taking that kind of a peek, and all this util is being used very, very nicely by Furlan. In the end, can't get more than the 2, but it looked like he would. 5 on 4, and FORZE find the lead on Mirage.
He was definitely toying with them there in the end. Get that one way. Flit was all over that. Wasn't anything special. That ult from Snatchy could have done a lot of damage, but rendered useless in the end.
Nova again.
Haven't actually seen him play with the Nova in previous matches, so this might just be a FORZE special.
Playing with the fire right now. So much util headed in his direction. He gets a headshot through the wall. Ooh. And he gets one not through the wall.
Okay, but it polishes off the same guy you already hit in the noggin, so extra damage done from that one. Meza, though, spots the shotgun close to the ramp, and he slowly makes his way back towards T-spawn.
Both players walk away wounded from that one.
Yeah.
That's it, it's 5 on 4. What does Furlan do here? Pops his head back up. Hasn't seen anything yet. Flit might have spotted him. Oh! There's a chance here for Furlan. Definitely a dance with death for both players.
He's jumped and not seen a thing, though, so he hasn't called for any extra backups just yet from the rest of AGO. And now it's going to be the bust just from halfway up apartments. Still clearing out van. There you go. Furlan dealt with. Now there's one player to hold the device in time, and that is Rowland. But he's not able to get more than the 2 taps in the body onto Jerry. So now it's difficult for the rest of AGO.
Good shot from the man. Brings it back to 3 on 3. Bomb plant's going down right as we speak for FORZE. But look at the positioning of Fiku coming up behind. Only has a USB in hand, but if Zorte is not watching the angle, could have been in a bit of a spot of bother. In the end, that won't end up working out for Snatchy, and that should pretty much be the round. Fiku dispatched of FORZE go up to 6. And then, again, a brief moment of hope for AGO in that one, but not able to convert it. This will be an important round, though. AGO finally starting to get their money back in line, enough to get a purchase through. They've let slip a couple of opportunities on this map, so they'll be wanting to make sure that they hold on to this one.
Interesting to note too, FORZE, they definitely prefer the T side, the CT side on this map compared to the T side. So they do take the majority of their rounds on a 78 win percentage on the CT side. So their best, I guess, is yet to come, which is a scary prospect for AGO. They really need to show their best on this map on CT side.
Well, let's see what changes. AGO at least with guns this round. 3-1-1 setup. Although the man may be going over towards Con. However, good gap to smoke. Rallen going to be able to play that one way. Furlan holding strong with the change in pace over towards the B site. No one just above him just yet. Almeza hitting the brakes and looking to drop his way down, playing around the smoke. We'll get an entry, but now it's just him and Flit remaining, and Flit is slowly making his way up short, but Almeza, the one to dish the damage so far. Rallen, they know that he's on site somewhere, just hidden here at bench. It's just a matter of moments, but Almeza disregards the position. It's going to be the market player to do it. Flit with one, but not expecting the man behind him, and Rallen. The sneaky approach works well to get AGO onto 5 rounds.
Probably the pass score for AGO there. 2 guns alive. Doesn't do a whole lot to improve their circumstances, but nor does it diminish their circumstances. So, I suppose you take it, you need the round win, but they need it with more than just 2 guns alive.
Does not build CT economy, that's for sure.
Yep.
Certainly keeps them honest. That being said, though, the man has potential maybe even to drop a FAMAS over as opposed to that MP9 and Furlan. We've seen Furlan, he's got locked down the D bomb site by himself with just an MP9, but this aggression through mid catches Fiku off guard.
It's a common trend we see from FORZE that they're just so happy to silently dry push through smokes, and it's the biggest gamble you can see. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and this round it certainly has worked.
Pushes on both sides. FORZE pushing through their smokes in mid. Works out for them, and AGO trying to push for info on the CT side has absolutely blown up in their face. Sachi and Rallen find themselves alone.
A disgusting meta, and I hate it. But it works. Sometimes, and then other times it doesn't. So
that's very insightful.
You got to be a gambling man to go for the smoke pushes. That's what I'm saying.
That I am not. So very disappointing how this round has worked out for AGO. It seems like now, from this position, the half is going to start to slip away from them. Money's good for Laman and Fiku, but not for the rest of the lads.
Yeah, this is not looking good for AGO. They only get around 50% of their rounds on that T side, so they really need to make that CT side work. They get 57% of their rounds on the CT side. So it is definitely their better half. Right now, it's certainly not looking so, as we do see a faster approach coming out now with presence towards B.
That molly just bounced off the edge of the van back into the smoking apartments. Welcome to CSGO. Well, Almeza holds his ground nicely. AGO unable to trade, but the 2-man push through A main, but still 2 players towards A, and may just bait FORZE into them.
Yeah, I'm not sure that the pushes are working out for AGO the way they want them to. 3 on 5.
Ooh, rocking a hard place there. Fiku at triple. No way out against the AKs.
Kind of just get the sense that FORZE have slipped themselves into very comfortable territory now and are kind of just going through the motions, playing patiently, waiting for AGO to make mistakes, not get too over-aggressive, and then ultimately putting them to rest. 8-5. How comfortable the last few rounds have been for FORZE is probably the best looking rounds we've seen out of this series so far, on either side. And they've just looked clean.
They've just been systematically dismantled.
Yep.
It's like packing IKEA furniture.
You know all about that.
I definitely wouldn't know all about that. Putting it together again after with no instructions is a bit of an adventure.
For context, everyone at home, Jim is actually a mover in his spare time. Loves packing up IKEA furniture for people, taking it to different places.
Like Jim's mowing, Jim's plumbing. There's actually Jim's removalists as well.
You can find multiple franchises here.
An opening frag for AGO. So hopefully that prompts a little bit of patience on the CT side now, that they don't feel the need to go for the info, they don't feel the need to make the play. They can wait for FORZE to come to them, play the round out that way. Sachi has been very good with the AWP so far. 11-9, puts another one on the board for himself, gets traded down by Zorte through the flash and starts to look a little bit more precarious on the A-bomb site. The man nicely timed pick, and Almeza didn't know he was there. The info comes half a second too late. A man able to just hide and buy that time.
Flash came in through from his teammate, but blinded him as well. Peeks off the second to find that Zorte was not at Tetris. But now the hunt ensues.
Flanks also coming in from Rallin as well, so this round's on a timer, I think.
Yeah, but AGO need to make sure they don't lose another gun here. And he's really, really low.
Yeah, how deep the player is in CT.
Just jump spotting. Not seeing a whole lot. Zorte comes back to the A-bomb site. Might even be able to get a bomb plant depending on what the man does. Now though that the creep has progressed for Rallin. Oh, it's a bit more expensive than you'd like to see for AGO. But in the end they get the round. And I suppose that's what really matters.
Yeah, they're only going to be able to drop 2 guns out of that. At best, and that's foregoing utility on 2 players, so... And then the third player is either going to go light on weaponry or light on utility.
Light on utility, it seems, for Fiku. Just the one smoke. More aggression on the CT side. This time it's Snatchy who sets himself up at A main. Surely won't push any further with that AWP. But it's not a bad line to hold. Bombs over at B though. You talk about the utility being a little bit lacking for AGO. They've used all of their incendiaries so far. Still a few smokes in the back pocket, but can get a little bit worse for wear at the moment. Good shot from Snatchy. Been really solid. And a big reason why there's 6 rounds on the board for AGO is exactly that man. 4 on 2 now. And it seems that AGO will be able to at least salvage the half. Be able to get to 7. See what Flit and Zorte have to say about it. Apparently not. Back to 2 on 2. Short already controlled AGO, but the smoke down really causing some problems for them.
Oh, boost over the top, and it may have been perfect, but look at this push coming in towards short. They know that someone's come from this position as a smoke has. And Fiku staying silent, Flit playing the smoke to perfection. However, the footsteps heard, and this is going to be Fiku just jumping around like a madman, finds one Zorte. It's off on M4, and Zorte able to get at least another shot off here, but it's not going to happen, and Fiku goes straight across to the bomb, has a kit to play with, and he will get the defuse off in time. So it will be 8-7 at the half. FORZE leading by 1 round. Ladies and gents, don't go too far. We will be back after the break with the second half.
Welcome back. A very close first half between AGO and FORZE on Mirage, but given the stats you were throwing in our direction earlier on in that half, Jim, it probably doesn't paint a particularly pretty picture for AGO, at least not in terms of being able to get the 2-0 here. Definitely did look to me, based on the eye test, that FORZE was looking a bit more comfortable than AGO were, but ultimately 7-8 is about as close as you can get, so it's definitely something to play with for AGO.
Certainly is, and I think it does. Look, it was better than their earlier half performance. I think they were really under the weather there against FORZE. They were really struggling to find rounds. It wasn't until there was a few breakthroughs. In fact, when FORZE decided that they would just dry push through smokes and execute on the back of a single flash and a smoke towards connector, they were shut down quite quickly. That was one of the big swing rounds for AGO. They were able to get themselves back on the winning round after that, and in terms of what was produced after that, they were able to start to string some rounds together, start to build some economy. However, FORZE just whittled them away in the later stages of that half. They were really pushed and pulled across the map as well. So in terms of the way that FORZE are playing, they're quite comfortable on this map. As we know, they don't actually win the majority of the rounds on T side. It's their CT side. It's around that 62% mark where they win most of their rounds. So they're now heading onto the more comfortable side on a map that they have a lot of reps on in the last 3 months. I think they played it like 32 times with a 78% win percentage. So that's pretty high, if you ask me. A lot of reps.
Conversion rate, that's for sure.
I just want to point out as well that Flit and Fiku both actually failed the eye test.
Why is that?
They used ones instead.
Really?
Yep.
The more you know.
I see what you did there.
But what I wanted to point out, Mac, was it does actually feel like, again, it's the same story for AGO as what we were selling on Nuke, in that there's a lot of clutches coming through for AGO. I mean, you look at that first half, you think, okay, if Snatchy isn't the X factor in a couple of those rounds, how much does that balloon out for FORZE? How big of a deficit would AGO be having coming into this second half, were it not for a couple of really good rounds coming through from individuals on AGO? So, again, can you continue to rely on that to get you a win on, a second map in this series? It doesn't look like it's going to be enough, again, just based on the eye test here on Mirage. It feels like, at the moment, FORZE just a bit more comfortable. And then, if we do go on to Ancient, which you've said, Mac, you sort of think probably leans a little bit towards FORZE.
Yeah.
Do some of those AGO members cool off? And in that instance, what does that then mean for this series?
Well, I guess it's just more of the endurance test. I want to see if this is going to even go to Ancient at the moment. It looks like I've liked what we've seen from FORZE, but AGO starting to fire up towards the end of that first half. So hopefully as we head into the second half now, we will see that trend continue. And we might have a very close game on our hands again. Last time both these teams played, of course, this did go to overtime. So we'll see if that is a factor again.
Yeah, I would say too that when they rotated their sixth in Le Mans, he's normally more of a CT side specialist. I wouldn't say he was super impactful as he had been in the previous matchup. However, was consistently holding that A site by himself. Now he's switched onto the T side. He's got a lot of work to do to get himself into this, and I think this one writes itself in terms of strategy.
Yeah, well, there's a nade at the ready, thrown a little bit late, maybe. Could have done a huge amount of damage if it was thrown straight away, but Almeza and Flit teaming up nicely to hold the B site for the moment. Almeza just dancing around here on short, no eyes on him just yet. He's just going to be tapping away, finding at least 3. And he never fell either. One at the end towards Snatchy, Furlan falling as well, and everything goes right for FORZE to stretch it out to a 2-round lead and take that CT pistol.
Just on that B rush, on the pistol, super fast, super simple, was dismantled super easily by FORZE, and simple crossfires, that's all it took. There wasn't really a lot of utility to work with, so there wasn't anything to get them off the crossfires. Now they find themselves in a situation where they're actually going to buy Deagles into this as well. Some light utility to match it.
Going to see a late window smoke coming out as well, with the old style of being thrown. Maybe more consistent.
That one leaves a gap in it on the far right side, from a T's perspective.
In comes the push, and a tiny gap on the top con smoke as well. Jerry Going to be spammed at, but not connected on just yet. Oh, however, as he tries to get away, he is going to be spotted. Lit, very aggressive maneuver coming in on the flank, running and gunning, and it's not going to work out how he planned. Only good for one. As we are going to see a few more CTs falling. However, Zorte on 77 HP, able to snag away another and turn it to the 2v2 Almeza. Proactive approach as well down short, but that bomb down at stairs. I don't think the CTs are aware just yet.
Well, Fiku's managed to grab it. You've been singing his praises all night long. Here's another chance for him to pull off the big one. 2-on-1 clutch, not going to happen. Zorte gets it done with the scout. Couple of assisting taps from Almeza through that smoke. Maybe a bit too close for comfort for FORZE.
Certainly got more than they bargained for, AGO. Not a huge investment into that round, just Deagle light armor again, and that's what we're going to see them here, except minus the armor, so just looking to get guns in the next, of course. Back themselves in, why not? We've seen plenty of Desert Eagle action across this series, across all of the playoffs, to be honest, so these are some of the highlight rounds.
Almeza doing a good job of locking down apartments. Jerry maybe timed here by Snatchy, but actually spots the player out long range and won't actually find any damage onto Jerry. Still, Deagle from Fiku continues to be impressive. 250. Seeing what that can do from this position already this game. No such luck for AGO yet.
Yeah, Flit very confidently standing there at bench. Just trying to play the off angle. Look into A main for info. Kenzie, I'm going to say that was a experimental grenade.
Tech gren.
Yeah, to clear out lower mid. And AGO grouping up towards A main, edging their way out at Tetris and looking to play strength in numbers. Nice line held by Rallen. As Nazorte going to be out on an island. Needs to buy some time for the rest. However, given an opportunity to slide back into jungle. Two-man rotation back to CT. And the boost up clears out all of stairs as well.
Whatever ends up being the case here. Oh, another good shot from Fiku. AGO is definitely keeping FORZE honest, and now they should win the round from here. Almeza 6 HP. Famis in hand, no chance. 8-10 AGO. They nearly did it in the previous round, but they've gotten it done here. CT economy in absolute shambles. Straight off the bat, and that is exactly what you want when you're chasing a deficit like this. It's not a massive one, but to start that half off with a decent round like that for AGO, it feels like finally something's gone their way on Mirage.
Saw what FORZE were trying to do then in that round as well. Just surrender control of jungle, group up on that CT ramp and hopefully retake together. But I mean, I feel as though in hindsight, having that jungle control would have been crucial for them because they actually would have been able to pressure the T's a lot more effectively.
Let's see if FORZE can fight back just with a couple of Eagles and M4 Scout. MP9 jump peeking the pixel line there. Just waiting for the perfect moment to drop that nade. So far, nothing spotted. Little man just waiting in the kitchen, and it looks like it will be the belated B split. No eyes on this position as the CTs have gone aggressive through A main instead. The numbers are good. Kenzie good for one as the trades will ensue. AGO coming out on top for the moment. Almeza though, this MP9 a little bit dangerous as he holds down Van for a moment. Needs to get that reload off, but Fiku just waiting on the other side, looking to open the door towards the B site. Snatchy coming in, smoke phase, only my position he can be, but Almeza gets another. Ridiculous. And now it's back to the one-on-one. Zorte sneaks in from the long flank, and it's more than enough. FORZE 11 on the board.
MP9 in your face.
Almeza might as well change his name to Laser. At MP9, there's a double bink just across the B bomb site. At that range, the MP9 is crazy.
Out of all the weapons that FORZE bought last round, that was the last one I was focusing on.
I saw the position he was in, sitting on top of Van. I saw the peak coming through. I was like, no way he wins this. But he does. So it's back to another force for AGO. This one looking a little bit better than the last fight. Thankfully, what a reset from Fiku. Flips across. The Snatchy does a lot of damage to Jerry, which makes it easy for Rallen. Once again, the Force Spy looks like it's starting to come out and reign supreme. Smokes are down. Almeza behind the smoke. But Kenzie hasn't been cleared, and now the bomb is spotted. That's really bad news for AGO. FORZE have held on long enough, it seems like, as the smoke starts to fade. It turns to Rallen and Le Man. And who's coming up connector, but won't win the duel. Perfect timing from Kenzie on the peak, and he's been an absolute rock in connector. Did a lot of work there on the first half as well. He was on T side. So, Rallen, 2-on-1. Slides his way out. Gets past Zorte.
Ooh. Given an opportunity just to isolate these fights, the jump across from Sandwich, and it has not been timed at all. There's the first found, and Rallen knows that Zorte's over there in CT, but Zorte very sharp on the AWP this evening. And there you have it. 12 on the board for him. And the rest of FORZE, 8 for AGO.
It was fast, it was simple as well from AGO on that T side. They just smoked off connector, tried to isolate the rotations as well. I think there was a smoke down at jungle. And they just went out dry going for duels. So it's funny because that's what you expect from FORZE.
Yeah.
AGO are just trying to give them a dose of their own medicine. Nearly worked as well.
If nothing else, it keeps FORZE's economy reeling. No player above $500.
Well, Almeza has this MP9 again.
He does, that's true.
The most dangerous weapon in the server.
Apparently.
He himself is the weapon.
And he farms with it too, doesn't he? Run boost. Gets Fiku out into mid. Not a huge concern for FORZE. They were more than happy to give up control of mid in this round.
Okay.
Bit of info gathering going on.
Aggressive maneuvers. That is going to thin out the utility of FORZE as they invest it for the info. Good placement of the nade. Boost stopped as well for the moment as Fiku. He's spotted. Flit deals with this. Oh my lord. Deals with mid single-handedly. 3 kills. Ridiculous spray transfer from the man at bottom mid up to Cat.
Yeah. Snatched it, deleted.
Give that to me again, production. At some point, please.
Inject it straight into his vein.
Please. Even though I know I'm fully aware they're eco frags. It's just good mechanics. That's what I'm here for.
That intravenous spray transfer.
Well,
13-8. Seems like the map is slowly but surely coming to a close. Haven't seen much from AGO so far in this second half. I mean, there was obviously that one round that went their way, but it's something more. And Rallen really has to win those, unfortunately. Opens up Palace for FORZE.
I think that almost certainly now funnels them into B as well with that split. They've got no presence anywhere else on the map other than mid. Actually sent that player underpass. LeMan's gone towards mid, so they are now locked into mid, and mid is not a bomb site.
Very astute.
Slowly burning through their utility as well.
The aggressive play, Flit with the info and a kill as well. But he's put his life on the line for that one. Flash a little bit too deep, and it's not going to blind Kenzie, who holds his ground. Stops the smoke push coming out from AGO. And he's going to push it straight back as well to find a second. May have even heard the jump into window. They seem to be aware. Snatchy, he's threading the needle into market, but all eyes trained into this position. It's a matter of moments, and the timing is there for Almeza. Another, a rock-solid defense on the B side all this second half. And FORZE now just 2 rounds away from taking map number 2 of the series.
AGO desperately needed a plant in that round. Look at their economy. They're going to be on pistols. Maybe the Glils. There's the Mac 10 coming out. So, trying to farm some money up here. And allow their opponents to get to match point and fight back from there by the looks of things. So, a plant needs to be on the cards. That's where they're headed towards B quite quickly. Almeza has actually been one of the danger men. Has actually gone and strayed away from his MP9 though, so I think Furlan would have heard that.
100%. Just waiting for this util to rain across. Needs to be a deep flash as well to blind the player up on the balcony, but they're going to disregard it. Okay, thinking that second man might have been it. Now it's going to be Almeza going huge again, only good for 2. Almost the third, but there is some backup close. Some Mewtwo going to be dubbed as well, just to save the life of Kenzie on just 1 HP, who finds another kill in that situation. Ferlin and Biku find one apiece, but it's FORZE that reign supreme. 2 alive at the end, but 15 on the board. And there's still plenty of money in the bank to buy here.
Great work from Kenzie there, just staying alive, allowing that rotation to come through. Otherwise, they had all control of bomb site. And this is no surprise to see a timeout coming out. There's a lot to discuss here. This is an important gun round. They forewent any weaponry in the last to try and give them a fighting chance here. 7 match points they've got to contend with. Jordan, I don't know about this.
I don't know about it either. I mean, they've gotten 1 round so far in the second half. And now you're expecting them to get 7 in a row. That'd be a miracle for AGO as far as I'm concerned. I think it's toward Ancient that we are headed, which is probably what we all wanted.
Yes.
And you can't wipe the grin off Mac's face about it either.
Let's just see more Ancient. I just want to see more. I hated it when it was first announced, but I'm definitely on the bandwagon now. I'm actually driving the bandwagon.
Yeah, I think people are starting to come around. Seen a few more positive takes lately. It's like with anything, people hate change. Still, I'll say I probably was disappointed to see Train removed, but that's by the by.
Yeah, Train wasn't the map that deserved to die.
Exactly.
No. Ooh, info there at unders.
Train did nothing wrong.
Little tick of the molly on the feet of both the T's. We'll see if that one's heard from the short player. Certainly seems to be, as they've invested yet another Molotov. AGO already down to the minute mark. And all they've gained is this mid control.
They're going to have to gain a bit more, aren't they, mate?
They're flashing their teammates more than the enemies at the moment, so that is worrisome.
Probably doesn't help. Jerry's in a nice spot above the smoke here. In connector. Alan's found the opener though. One small step for AGO. On the road to victory, but the road to victory may be a little more difficult than they expected. LeMan has checked the smoke, hasn't seen Jerry at all. And in the end, that's a freebie for Jerry, Almeza and Zorte chiming in with a few themselves, and that is it. Map number 2 goes the way of FORZE, and it's toward Ancient that we're headed.
Make me feel the next thing I know, we were so ready to give in, skin to skin on that baseline. Ooh, you give me that high pitch feel, baby. We shared a cigarette by East Riverside. The way you looked at me, couldn't say goodbye. And whatever you did to make it tough, 'cause baby, you make me feel something.
We're tied one apiece between FORZE and AGO after FORZE picked up Mirage. It was a pretty comfortable victory for them in the end, and that was well within the expectations. A 7-8 scoreline at the end of the half. That was favouring FORZE. Looked okay for AGO, but ultimately, if you go back and look at the past history, there is a bit of a precedent set that FORZE is very good on the CT side, and that is another good indication as to why we thought it might end up being pretty comfortable for FORZE overall. Now, though, things get pretty interesting because we do go towards Ancient, a map that has been previously won by FORZE against AGO.
Yep.
Kind of feels like it's anyone's series right now.
Yeah, it's really just something, and look, straight out of the gates, FORZE just really putting their foot down and saying we are here to make it straight to the grand finals. AGO trying to stop them. This clip in particular from Snatchy, absolutely nuts round. So still some crazy individual rounds coming out from everyone on AGO, but is that going to be enough on Ancient? It might be, it might not be. I guess we'll see once we get there, but Mirage certainly was a crazy time. Second half, though, complete domination displayed by FORZE.
Yeah, it was really on AGO to capitalise as much as they could on that CT side because that is their better side on that map. They didn't, and that's really where they got punished. They only got one round as soon as the silencer switched. So FORZE really just, I guess, putting their foot down and making sure that their round win percentage was quite high on the CT side, and they just maintained that. They were quite comfortable. I would say there was a few rounds that went down to the wire, maybe some 1v2s there that potentially AGO, if it was Nuke, I felt that might have gone their way, but it wasn't to be the case. This was just FORZE's map. You could tell they were comfortable on that T side. They started really well and they rolled home the victory on CT and locked out AGO completely. We now send it to Ancient. So this one I feel as though it could go either way because I saw some really positive signs from AGO on their T side on Ancient. But we know how that went in the matchup. It wasn't their map victory.
Are you leaning towards FORZE or Ancient for that third map, Mac?
Sorry, I
just keen on either side.
Got to see that replay again. The nut spray transfer. Beautiful to see. What was the question? Sorry.
Which way are you leaning for Ancient? Are you a FORZE man or are you an AGO man?
I don't know. I really just, I'd love to have another interview with Jerry. So I definitely am going to be leaning a little bit towards FORZE. I just love that CT aggression we get to see from them on the map. But AGO as well, I've really enjoyed what we've seen from them, and I don't want to be too biased towards either team. I feel like it's just going to be a slogfest, and we might end up going all the way to 30. I don't know about overtime though, but I still think FORZE have that little bit of an advantage going into Ancient.
Yeah, I think it's going to go down to those first couple of rounds, in all honesty, whether or not AGO can steady the ship, if they can get themselves back on track, because I feel as though after Mirage, they might have derailed a little bit. However, I feel as though this one sort of sits in the realm of AGO still, just because from what I've seen from them on Ancient, they didn't win it in the matchup last time, but I feel as though they might have gone back to the drawing board and made a few tweaks here. I don't think FORZE would have made any adjustments to the way that they played Ancient. It was a map victory. They were against a regimented AGO T side, so I feel as though they'll be quite comfortable with how they already were on the map. I think AGO's been the ones that have gone away and done the homework.
Luckily, you guys won't have too much longer to wait. It's time for us to take a short break. Ancient, though, is on the other side of this.
If you want to know what you're good at, and, well, also what you suck at, check out CSGOHub.com. Coming!
Yes, nice shot, my friend.
Cheaters ruining your plays?
I am the enemy.
Bad servers stopping your shots? What you need is ESEA, advanced anti-cheat to stop cheaters, and the best servers around, all with 128 tick rate. ESEA, the best way to play CSGO.
talks about all the other guys. Will I ever understand? Without her, it's not fair, I need you back. No more crying at the end, I'll do it again.
Step out as a motivator, let them know that the weight's up. That's how we know when we level up. Ay, that's how we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up.
Like a gangster ball, still I'm standing tall. Know about the ball, I got my fan with me. All we know is ball to empty out the mouths. The chosen one they call, I take my fan with me. Know about it if you tell, know you're breaking codes. But your credibility and all fall like dominoes. Can you really take a stance? All I wanna know. Need me real ones when it's time to go. Stepping in, elevator. Listen to all the haters. That's all we know when we level up. Yeah, that's all we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up. I found out I'm not alone, 'cause I'm just like you. We are fearless when we fight and not afraid to. Level up! All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up! All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up.
Well, it was the moment we were all hoping for. It's Ancient between AGO and FORZE, a map that we've already seen them play here in the ESEA Premier Playoffs. It is going to be maybe a little bit leaning towards FORZE. We saw them pick that one up 16-13 a couple of days ago, but you know, very, very close scoreline. You look at that and you say maybe one or two different rounds could have centered in the direction of AGO. How did the economy play into that factor? How important were some of those, you know, individual rounds? That's what we're here today to find out. You know, if FORZE can go back to back on Ancient, they will win this series. They will, in a sense, usurp AGO and make their way through to that grand final.
And 100% win percentage on Ancient so far for FORZE.
That's an incredible statistic. Thank you very much.
4 reps on this map so far.
I mean, to be honest, that's actually not too bad. 4 games played. Thought it was going to be a little bit less than that. Let's see how they do go. It's also my first time casting this map, so we'll see how I go. Reeds and Rallen trying to take the initial flight over towards the B-bomb site. That has not worked out well for them at all. Demolished is the way that I put that. But Fiku is able to chime back in with one.
Yeah, comes in as that third man a little bit late, but he's going to single-handedly defend the B site for a little longer. Buy some time for Furlan to go for the rotation. But with that lane control, we might just see Jerry and Zorte go for the rotation back towards A. However, Furlan is going to be trying to beat them on said rotation all the way back to Temple already. Might be able to stop the push in here from Donut. Lines there. He's just jumping on the wall and it's somehow worked out for the moment. Enables the cross and the bomb traverses to site safely.
Oh, Jerry, how did you scurry away? How did you get away there? Now Fiku's going to come and join him arm in arm. As well, Jerry's just hiding in the smoke. They're now about down to very low HP, but they're making it work here, and it's all on Fiku, who hopefully could just land a single bullet on each, but they're going to both face. Are they going to try to get him from different angles? No! Fiku!
He's done it again!
Master of the pistol. Wrangles FORZE. But, I mean, FORZE get that plant. That's going to be important for them. However, I think I'd take the round if I was AGO.
I saw as well on my Twitter timeline earlier that Launders has called out for a spot there in Shrine to be called Brokey, which is a position I'll point out if someone plays it throughout the match today.
Okay.
Evolution of the call-outs.
I'm sure it's going to take a little while.
I'm hoping for some Indiana Jones references.
Oh, for sure. I feel like there's so many. We've already got Lara Croft up here and there. Rallen does get a nice opener onto Jerry. So AGO off to a very good start here on Ancient. Furlan is the only one over towards the A-bomb side at the moment, but Snatchy is watching mid. Probably not where the main offense is going to be coming from, though, looking at the minimap right now. Ball's very bunched up.
Boosted over. Okay, little gap there in the smoke. Zorte grabs onto that one and opens it up nicely. Well, we're going to see Snatchy self-boost up on the side and play a nasty angle, but he's going to keep it close to the MP9. Only good for the single as Almeza comes in to trade with Galil. And another as well. There's the entry they were looking for. AGO already in the rotation into CT. But over towards the back of the site here. FORZE, they've just slowed things down, trying to find the second man.
Yeah, still haven't been able to actually get that bomb plan down. They're going to continue to come into Temple and clear things out. Ritz is able to get a 1-for-1, but that's probably not enough to swing it back in the favour of Fiku, though admittedly, he's been really good in the clutches today. One plan going down for FORZE. Ooh, AGO might be sweating a little bit at this point, particularly Fiku. 4-0 for the map so far, the first round. See what more he can actually get done here. He'd be up to 6-0 off 2 rounds. Wouldn't be too shabby on the start. Good tags onto Kensi, but has not dislodged him from behind the boxes. And Fiku is dancing away his time. Finally goes for the cross. Zorte's waiting for it. Makes it look easy. And FORZE will pick up the second round.
That just sends the money of AGO spiraling back down towards that $2,000 mark. So they are going to invest in this, actually. They're just going to try and line their pockets with as many different bits of utility as possible. In fact, a single grenade, never mind. They're just going to go with the Deagle Force buys, but aggression through mid just to get in position there in Donut, but they're going to face here at the moment. Snatchy again with that scout.
All night.
Trouble. as they go down one player already, but very, very slow approach here. Slow mid-control coming out from FORZE. They're just going to group up and try and take these fights, and Rallen goes down. Yeah. So they now have control of the middle of the map.
Just crab walking under Cat there. Makes it work nicely. But again, I'm still just waiting to see what Reitz does with this one smoke, and it looks like that is exactly where it's going to be used here. Just stopping, pushing the cheater, and slowing things down. FORZE with a minute on the clock. They've got plenty of util to go from Exi anywhere. Flash into tunnels as well is going to slow things down in terms of the rotation for AGO. There's the info.
Going to be a long rotation in for those CTs. Perhaps they're going to be too little too late. Bomb is surely going to go down before they even get a chance of thinking about it. I mean, just looking at the map itself, it does seem like if you lose control of one of those bomb sites, it's going to take a long time for the reinforcements to get across.
Yep. You need the middle of the map. You need control of the middle of the map to be able to get to the bomb sites quickly, but...
Right.
Let's just say that they're going to be happy with taking away that M4, Ferland. Oh! Snatchy. Doesn't get away with anything. No scout for him.
Nasty shot from Kenzie. And the only man not to get a kill in the round for FORZE is dead, so there won't be a team ace coming through. Flit, unfortunately, the sacrificial lamb for the round, as FORZE stuck on a second. Berlin keeps the M4 alive, and may be able to have some impact going into round number 4, but they will have to position him appropriately. So far from what we've seen from FORZE, on all the maps of Ancient we've seen them on, they have a high tendency to move over towards that B site. A site is usually an afterthought, but you'll see them go there eventually.
Yeah, no emphasis on mid from the T's until a little bit later. They actually wait out that early utility. You can see that they stack numbers towards the top of mid this evening side, but Cherry is just on an expedition with the MAC-10.
Yeah, it's slowing down, is he? Wants to find all the secrets of Ancient. Where's the hidden treasure?
Indiana Domes, that's what they call him.
Ah, yeah. Actually, I think I watched that movie one time.
And the Temple of Foon.
FORZE so far making it look pretty comfortable on Ancient. Granted, we haven't seen a full gun round yet from AGO. Will Rallon be the final one to fall to the MAC-10. That is pretty nice from Jerry. A couple of kills go his way. A bit of extra cash in the back pocket. Here's the first buy round for AGO, though.
Keen to see how they go with this, whether or not they choose to try and take mid-control away from FORZE early on. FORZE just don't seem too interested early in the round anyway. They're happy to take a bit of a step back, take some later control. We do see that early smoke come down in towards Cheetah as well, so they're just trying to stop themselves from being flanked here as Molotov burns and just stops them from getting into mid-control reads.
Up to his usual shenanigans there, Jerry, but this time it doesn't work out. It's very deep out on the A site already.
Yeah.
But he won't get a whole lot done on his own. This is a bit more unorthodox maybe from FORZE. Individuals trying to make plays.
Look at the read from AGO though. They know that FORZE have a tendency to late exec on the B-bomb side. And they're just happy to keep 3 there.
It's not even a risk, just a calculated defense setup, as Almeza may be able to isolate a fight here. Reitz should be the first line of defense. They're worried about the pincer in from mid. You can see that there is now some attention being drawn here to where Zorte could flank from, but Almeza makes that one work nicely. Snatchy was looking the wrong direction. Reitz, he's going to be teaming up with Fiku here at Wood, but do they expect the second man doubling up in the cutout? And they're not going to clear it at all, but Fiku, no trigger discipline here. He's just going to be fighting, guns blazing, but it works out regardless. 2 quick ones for him, and a second round for AGO on the board here.
FORZE doing exactly what AGO would predict, sending to that B-bomb site later on after losing the initial pick. So that one plays right into the hands of AGO.
And we do see another gun round coming out. Of course, with the money on the T side still being relatively healthy, they're going to continue to put pressure on the CT side. So on the AGO side of things, it's very important that they start to lock things down and keep numbers up. Single AWP on Snatchy as well. Interested to see how they position him around the map. Whether or not they opt to keep him posting up on mid, or as we have seen before, moving him between the A and B bomb sites. It's a bit of a guessing game when it comes to where Snatchy's going to be.
Looks like FORZE are thinking about going for this lane control again, but they've just invested Almeza in this position. All the way over to Bricks, but he is going to fall to the mollies. So utility reigning supreme for AGO instead. And now that attention has been drawn by AGO. FORZE, this is the opportunity they were hoping for to go and hit the A site. Only one smoke invested, pushing Berlin up on top of triple. But FORZE smoked off, and they don't want to force the issue here. Smoke fades, rotation starting to come through from AGO, and they seem to be aware of what FORZE are planning. But look, these positions not going to go too well off one another just yet. Snatchy able to hold the cross with the AWP, and a second found for him. But Zorte, one of the Fiku, and the clutch minister has been dealt with.
Plenty more chances for Snatchy. Ralando coming in behind is going to perhaps pull a few of them back in his direction. It's just Kenzie left alive from FORZE, and this round is zipping away very fast indeed. 3 apiece. FORZE started off nicely on Ancient, but AGO are starting to mount a very solid defense. Guns building up, money starting to build up.
AGO are one of those teams that really rely heavily on utility. If they don't have the utility on their belt, they do struggle in a lot of those rounds. And that's what we saw last time on Ancient against FORZE. As soon as that utility started to be pried from their hands, their money started to be whittled down, they did struggle a lot. That was both on CT and T.
Late smoke towards the bottom of mid now. But if we've seen Flip before, he loves a good smoke push, so he may come through eventually. But off the back of that smoke, Rallen goes to clear out lane. There's already that early pick onto Jerry. As FORZE go for the late rotation into B main. Potentially just looking to center that ramp here. Releases Orte up on the box for the peak. Holding the line, missed opportunity. You do see Fico pull back the quad. Smokes come through. There's no players on site at the moment for AGO.
Could be a problem for them, but we know the rotations between bomb sites are so long that FORZE, even with 40 seconds left, are not going to give themselves a whole lot of time should they opt to go back to A. Looks like they're hard locked into this B bomb site hit. As Fiku again is just going to hold the line. He's going to hold strong as well. So they are falling like dominoes on this B bomb site.
Yeah. So many numbers here for AGO. He's given it back. Nearly got the third. It's always going to be difficult in a situation like that. Even 2 was probably impressive. 4-3 for AGO. They mount another one. So a little bit how close it was to just getting that third there as well.
Pre-fired it.
He did. Quick swing came through and might have actually worked out for him, but that's not the case. Again, early utility out into mid here from AGO. And they go deep. Looking for that info.
Just looking to take control of B lane, but that's not where the action is going to be. Furlan going to just hide behind quad.
Fleet. Oh, the late clearance of the position works out wonderfully. 2-tap with the Deagle, and that's going to be the A site found. But AGO still control of tunnels. Late lurk from Almeza may come through mid. For the moment, he's just going to be regrouping over towards A main. FORZE trying to hold from sight, but they need some solid positions here. Flit, a nice headshot found from Platt, but Snatchy and Rallant coming and returning the favour. Jerry going to be stuck in a rough position.
Nade.
Back of sight, the nade may just do it, but he's going to go straight through the smoke. Almeida with the cover and Rallin. He gives up his position by tapping the bomb. He's going to stick it this time. No, actually. Forcing out the aggression, and he's got time to make it work. So, FORZE give AGO the jump scare, but AGO take the round. But it's costly.
Very costly, but they're still going to be able to comfortably buy into this next round, so at least in terms of AGO, their money will cover their losses this time. That will not be a forever thing, though. I'm sure FORZE are aware of this, and let's just see what they do on this gun round. Mobile setup, though. Still not opting for an AWP on that T side. AGO, so willing to aggress on mid. Just a couple of Molotovs down, as they do like to take control of that B laneway. Compress, get information more importantly. I think control of that is almost as important as banana control on Inferno.
Which is of high importance.
High in potassium, high importance.
Mid taking util is just going to be thrown, but there's pretty much some default util at this point. Fiku out of the equation early as Almeida just swings up B ramp, beating the Molotov.
Yeah, FORZE will definitely need to take advantage of the 4 and 5 that they've got themselves in this round. Been pretty clean so far on the CT side from AGO, and if they let this chance slip, I think what kind of round can FORZE actually consolidate on? Util getting very low for AGO, but they do have that double bomb in play, and a couple of players having also got themselves set up on B, which is where the hit is going to come in. Could prove quite fruitful. Snatchies here as well. That said, there's going to be a wall of utility in the way of the CTs, so pretty much of a chance for them to defend here. A boost up, but Snatchies not spotting anything over that smoke. All goes down.
Oh.
When is that smoke going to fade? And who does it fade for? Well, Flit is on the reload, but Almeida is doing the job himself.
Okay.
All three. And FORZE, well, that's going to be their round, that's for sure. Furlan will at least maintain control of the AWP for now. Bit of a hunt coming through, actually, from Kenzie.
Big flank. Now this spot here, that one he was just at, is the one I was talking about before.
What, the hole in the wall?
Brokey.
That was being dubbed Brokey by Launders, so he must have had a couple of nuts clips just dancing around.
You sure it's not because it's a broken wall?
It's definitely not.
Broken walls on cobble.
This map looks like cobble, a little bit.
Bit mossy.
Yeah.
There's broken wall and
Cobble
Inferno.
is green as well. True. I do like the green maps, I'm already a fan.
Is that because you don't use a green crosshair? Because I know as an
I have a yellow
ex-green crosshair user, I hated all the green maps, so I swapped to white.
Bright yellow with a black outline.
No outline, please.
Black outline.
Black blue. Or red.
Red is dead, as they say in Azeroth. Now, Fiku.
Is that what they
Early
say?
pick. It is.
Wouldn't know.
I thought it was redeemed.
What about pink?
Yeah,
Actually, I feel like pink is probably the colour that
Pink and
clashes
purple.
least.
Yeah.
Pink is a great colour. It's highly visible. You can still keep your sky lineups as well with your grenades. So yeah, I'm with that. Team pink.
Well, Reitz looking a bit tender here. And tenderised further. Almeida doing a really good job today. I was going to say this game, but he had a fascinating approach to Mirage. And 15 and 7 just in the first half here in 10 rounds is a huge effort for FORZE.
Still not enough for AGO to get any buys in, though. So, I don't know. I feel as though every time AGO have had to take ecos, they've been the ones that have copped double ecos.
Yes. Well, this round's already done. The 5-man stack did not work out well. A main rush, shut down in an instant with some util, guns blazing, and FORZE very much expecting the aggression. Well, that's a round.
Yeah, FORZE back in front, aren't they? I mean, 6-5, it's been a bit of a backwards and forwards half. FORZE got off to a decent start, then AGO strung together 5 rounds, and now it seems like FORZE are back in control. No AWP this round for AGO.
Big.
She's back with the rifle.
Big B presence coming out from AGO.
There it is.
Works.
Aggression. Something we haven't seen a huge amount of from the CTs so far, but the change in pace works. And coming in through mid-late, Kenzie may just be spotted. You can see that Fiku is ready and waiting, but he falls back to cave just at the wrong moment.
Yeah, I think Fiku just times Kenzie a little bit there.
Issue is, though, AGO didn't know that the bomb was down here over towards T-Con.
Well, still plenty of time for FORZE to work with. Minute 6 on the clock. Bomb is retrieved by Kenzie, and now starting to set up for some smokes in towards the B bomb site. Molly to clear out the corner. Open things up a little bit for Flit. Only has the one angle to really focus on. Starts to work his way into the bomb site now as well. And see, I thought for a moment we'd just be watching the B lane, but how do we get into the bomb site?
Spamming the smoke as it was fading, as his teammate had walked through it as well, hoping to draw attention if someone was there. But the CT's grouping up, looking to trade this one out. Solid positions, though, at quad, on side at wood. Fiku, there's the contact. Now Flit in a position to win it. Bomb planted for him, spots both the men, but he's not going to be able to shoot them in time. Fiku flicks around and connects again. 4 kills. Doing big work for AGO.
This man's on fire. I mean, he was an early push through Cheetah as well. They took lane control. They also took... they sent 4 to the bomb site B early on for that push. They actually only pushed with 3. I think the 4th player was there for just utility support while the others just gunned it out. But that is a crucial round for them because that is them starting to, draw level. I'm not surprised to see the pause coming out, though. I mean, their money's still not fantastic. That one went down to 2 players. How Fiku was able to turn and find that frag probably saved them even further economic damage, to be honest. But at the moment, things are good for AGO. Why? They're still able to maintain a lot of utility. And we've seen them, as I said before, struggle without utility.
There's an AWP for Snatchy in this round as well. On the ground. So it's the double AWP set up once again. AK there for Fiku. Util's looking pretty good apart from on Snatchy. Once again, all of it utilized in mid, and AGO get aggressive there again. Not going to see a whole lot. They'll have to start getting a bit of wriggle on back towards A because Almeza has gone straight through that smoke. He's already out onto the bomb site. Furlan has spotted them, and Furlan gets a double. FORZE stopping in their tracks, now stuck. They have to fight their way out of a sticky situation. They're doing a pretty reasonable job of that. Small smokes go down to deny the rotation in from AGO. Oh, straight through the smoke.
Jerry
runs right into the pre-fire essentially from Fiku. It was more of a spam than anything else, but it works out, and now it's just down to Flit. Perhaps a bit over-eager from FORZE to finish this round off. Is this Brokey? Is this what you're talking about, mate?
Just on the inside there, but almost. Anyway, that was Flit. He was good for 1, but Snatchy traded him.
Jerry really is the springer. He just loves to jump through smokes.
He loves a dramatic entrance, doesn't he?
I mean, he must have thought that Fiku emptied his clip. Or had no control of his recoil.
He had almost emptied his clip. I think there was only a couple of bullets left.
Yeah, I think he got it with the last 4.
Calculated approach.
Yeah.
Fast mid control coming out from AGO. They send Snatchy up. He's good for 1, but is replied quite quickly by Zorte. Now this flash is going to be stepped on. Zorte completely blind, but everybody is completely pushed away. Now Flit finds 1, gets away, but Rallen is out on an island here in mid.
Oh, too many angles to cover for him. Still gets away with one. Expecting the flank, but Split just spams through the smoke instead, and Rallin holds his ground here at the steps. No way is he going to be able to win this. It's Fiku to push through and find two at the end. But there you have it. Going into the final round of the half, AGO have clawed this back to a 2-round lead.
Yeah, what a round from Rallin. Being able to survive. Huge.
Absolutely no support. No support.
FORZE are going to go back again with just the 5 rifles. Go spread out to start things off. Again, AGO straight into mid. Make sure that they can take control of that, and a huge amount of grenades going down over on the B side of the map as well.
All Molotovs.
Ancient's on fire. They do not want to let FORZE take control of anything early on in the piece. I mean, they're burning through their util, though. It's kind of crazy, actually. AGO is down to 1 smoke left. Oh, 2 smokes, I should say.
Well, it's just so important, though. You know, I was having a chat with MC, and he's just saying if you don't do that, well, then FORZE can essentially just run up B ramp, clear out sight, and get the bomb planted within 25 seconds of the round. And it's a slower approach, but there is the first pick over towards mid. It's going to be a 1-for-1 down at lane as well. As Kenzie finds himself the double. There's Fiku and Furlan. The double F to try to bring this back, but Fiku at the back of quad gets his head ripped off, and it's all up to Furlan with the AWP in play. 1v4. It's a tall order.
Yeah, most likely headed towards the 8-7 scoreline. FORZE are pushing their way out almost of the B-bomb site now in the direction of Furlan. Though they've opted not to. Too many opportunities. You walk around the corner like that, there's not a whole lot you can do. But 8-7, very interesting. Tight stuff right now on Ancient. We'll be back in just a sec. Well, it's been an even series thus far as we head into map 3, the second half. 8-7, the scoreline between AGO and FORZE. Not a whole lot to separate the two teams at the moment, but That's exactly what we wanted it to be looking like in this lower bracket final of the ESEA Premier Season 37 playoffs for the EU Division MAC.
Yes.
Anyone's game at the moment. What do you reckon? Which way is it leaning? Do you get a bit of an eye test, leaning one way or the other?
Well, from what I've seen and what I like from FORZE so far, they're going onto the CT side, and I feel like that's where they get the majority of their rounds. So even though they're one in the deficit as we head into the second half, I'm excited to see how AGO deal with the crazy aggression that we usually get to see from FORZE on their counter-terrorist side. Now, it's going to be a 1-2-2 split.
Oh, I'm disappointed not to see the Julies in Cheetah.
True, we have seen that over the past couple of days, and AGO, look, expecting the aggression. They've got the four-man stack at cutout. Just waiting for the moment that FORZE push through. So AGO being AGO may just wait for, 20 seconds in the round before going to try to hit the site.
Have you got a feeling these two teams know each other, particularly on this map?
Seems that way.
Certainly. FORZE, though, might be in for a rude surprise as these smokes pour in, Mac.
Ooh, Jerry forced off of headshot there, back towards the back of quad, and it could be a free sight, but Almeza has to try to hold his ground, and he's going to go down. So the numbers are there for AGO on the post plant. As Flit going to be spamming away, hoping for something through the smoke. Jerry, there's a line up there with the USP, but he's unable to get too much damage done. Huge flank coming in through lane as Zorte, only good for the one. But he brings it back to that 3-on-4. Now FORZE, no kit in play currently. Snatchy doing some good damage as Flit's down to 13 HP. Not being able to last much longer with a body shot or two, but it's going to be Jerry holding him off. Tapping away. They need to get on that and hold the defuse, but the cover is there from Flit. They don't know where the final man is. It's going to be Rallen coming up E-Rip. That's Flit on 3 HP. They see no kits, so that'll be the round. AGO happily going to be taking that T-pistol to stretch out their lead by one more round. The question is, are they going to be able to deal with FORZE on a force buy running at them?
That is the question. Now, FORZE are just weighing up their options here at the moment. And I don't think the force buy is coming in. So they're just taking a moment to discuss. There's an MP9 coming in from Jerry.
Ooh.
So send that over to Almeza.
Oh yeah. Or just get everyone else to buy flashes, rain 7 flashes over lane, get Jerry to run in through Cheetah. AGO will be expecting that, but hopefully they'll be blind.
Now, eventually we'll resume. Again, heavy numbers towards B here. Major emphasis from both these two teams towards this B bomb site, particularly that laneway. Carpet bombed over the top. Those grenades. Reitz is certainly feeling a little bit squishy after that. Snatchy's also taken some chip damage too. So this, unfortunately, for AGO, just the plan, I believe, was always to slow things down here. They're just waiting out this push. Flit might actually be the one to push straight into them.
Some warning shots. Letting AGO know that FORZE are here to play. And Almeza just jiggling, waiting for a boost, waiting for any aggression over towards the B ramp there.
Oh, he's about to get it, isn't he? Here comes the util. The smoke's going in. Well, both avenues of defense. At the same time, counter-smoke actually out from FORZE does put a halt in the plans of AGO.
Issue is, that's the last piece of utility that FORZE have to play with. So now it's just the numbers they have to worry about, and they've just lost one. Zorte losing control of window, but AGO might just be going in towards CT spawn. Are they going to flank A? Are they going to split B? What are we going to see from here? The other A defender has fallen.
Definitely looks like it's going to be a B split, which, of all of the avenues, seems to be the one of the most resistant to the post. The least, the Eagle from Flit nearly gets it done on all 3. And had it gone that way, maybe there was a chance in the round for FORZE, but alas, it did not. 10-7 AGO, stamping their mark now on the map, building a little bit of a lead.
The fish really did enter the barrel here.
Yeah, they did. It seemed like it was going to be so much more difficult to go towards B than towards A. And I suppose that ended up proving to be true. But they got the round anyway. Another save for FORZE.
And another aggressive play from Jerry. Not going to take the fight, even though there's a smoke in the way. Oh, Jerry. He's good with his hands, catching that grenade.
Living up to his namesake, playing cat and mouse.
Well, again, the 1-1-3 split from FORZE on the pistols. Zorte playing a dangerous game at mid, however. USP nice and accurate at long range, so he's at least got that going for him. Just waiting that smoke out in window as well. Going to be out on an island and he'll fall. But as well, Kenzie, the aggressive maneuver through A is a world of information coming in late from mid. May have made a little bit too much noise, though. We'll see if Viku's switched on. Looks like he will be. Flank covered. But the rest of the boys from AGO pushing in towards the B site now. Jerry, he's going to not be able to survive there at the pillar. And the last man alive is Almeza. Gap in the smoke spotted and held by Rallen. And he will connect onto Almeza there as well.
Well, gun round yet to come for FORZE. And we will keep our eyes eagerly peeled on what they're going to be able to do this round, because it could signal what we're going to get for the rest of this half. AGO have been pretty dominant in the second half so far, but has FORZE really had a great opportunity to fight back yet? Not so much.
Oh, big nades, big damage. Reeds unable to fight for his life there.
That Molotov from AGO that goes and blocks the path from mid through to Donut. If your plan is to go to Donut through CT, or through mid, sorry, as a CT, you are left out in an island. You're exposed in mid. That's nearly what happened. However, the fight was good in mid. Both teams exchanged Molotovs, prevented anyone from pushing.
Oh, ballsy from Snatchy. Just doesn't even look at cutout there.
Instantly, as soon as the guns are in the hands of FORZE, you see a completely different round starting to play out. Jerry winning a couple of aim duels, and AGO way more tentative.
Well, deciding to come in late towards mid, all the way through lane. What have we got? Zorte on the AWP here. On the offline, but it still favours Fiku with the peak. Now it's all up to Kenzie to try and buy some extra time. He's just going to be dancing around at the bottom of Shroud here, hoping to find the right timing on the peak, and he will. And he's got the bomb there as well towards A main. Final two players for AGO coming in from tunnels is just not going to be enough, but Fiku and 1-on-4, he's going to do his best damn job. 4 kills already, on for the ace, but he's just barely missed the head of Almeza, but we saw it happen. He's been doing it all night, and he almost single-handedly won another for AGO.
And, I mean, he's done enough anyway. Yes, he doesn't win the round, but takes so much money away from FORZE. This was sick. And that was so close as well. So very close.
I would actually put that almost down to like bullet inaccuracy from the AK. Because his crosshair was dead on.
Probably.
Probably maybe.
Maybe.
This is where
Slow it down. Watch it frame by frame.
This is where the EVS operator hangs me out to dry.
Yeah, probably.
If that was Valorant, Crosshair could have been another inch to the right. Still gets the headshot.
Well, definitely did a lot of work. I mean, it's resulted in Kenzie and Zort going down to substandard weaponry, MP9 and Scout respectively. Lack of utility on the CT side there as well. Jerry has only one smoke, and both Kenzie and Zort as well. Just a couple of pieces of util, so he's definitely made an impact, regardless of whether or not he wins the round. Jerry will pop a flash. It's not going to help him too much. Rallen apparently doesn't need to be able to see.
You've probably seen Jerry push into that specific position so many times now that he knew exactly where to hold.
Yeah.
Big info for CTs to take control of that.
Yeah.
But it's not worth the risk of going down one player early on.
Especially not in a round like this where you look at the remaining players and they've got 2 smokes and 2 very substandard weapons. That said, we can you know, we've seen what the Scout can do. Not so much in the hands of Zora, but more so snatchy. Fiku very sharp. We'll get rid of Almeza. AK the diff.
Oh, bit of damage. Not enough to stop the push flip, though. Underhands the smoke to try it. Draw some extra attention. But again, quad control is there, so FORZE able to set up for the retake. Smokes are not going to really stand in their way as Flit just lines one up. Fiku falling, but Ferlin as well. Knocks back with the MAC-10, flipping around, it's going to be Kenzie up against the AK, so range is certainly not favouring him, and it looks like he's just going to skedaddle away, back through T-Con, looking to save for the next Bink onto Zorte. And the hunt's already on. Rowland at the ready. Torso shot is all it took, and Kenzie as well. That water sound is going to be heard, and AGO should be very aware of his position. Although worried, you can see him running back towards the bomb.
Did he just potentially go back to defuse? They had to check it. No time, though. Nothing out of that round but an MP9, so I don't think that's going to be of massive benefit to them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to mean that he is not going to need to reinvest into this round, whereas the rest of FORZE certainly are starting to chip away at that economy. However, they are starting to run out of rounds here. And AGO are just edging themselves closer to map point and potentially map and series victory.
AGO just making enough small adaptations and changes to their gameplay from what we saw the other day that they've just managed to formulate a very solid T side at the moment. FORZE, not coordinated aggression, just sending single men in, it seems, here. But again, this molly is going to be more than enough to force the swing as Jerry gets some damage on a Rowland, but it's not enough for a kill. Quick comes in as the second man. Oh, and it's good for 2. Ridiculous.
Maybe more here as well. He gets an opportunity to reload. Reek's not able to land the shots, and it's 4-on-3 right now with Flit controlling the lanes. Does end up backing up into the B bomb site right now, so goes back onto Sorte with that orb. A good spot. So much presence being drawn by those other players, and now the bomb has been spotted. You can see the rotation coming through from behind for Kenzie. AGO need to pick the pace up a little bit here. Fiku and Rallen want to dislodge Sorte. He's trying to provide as much distraction as possible. Give room to work with for Kenzie. MP9 in hand. Fiku surely can't get out of this position. Rallen is dead. The MP9 put to good use. Now Fiku with that smoke has been at least given a little bit of space to get back to Wooden. It's a tough one to play out. AK in the hands now of Kenzie, but Fiku crosses back into the site. Do they expect that? Wow, he's absolutely swindled them. Oh, this could be huge. Positioning so good, and how on earth does Sorte pull him out of this position? Well, that's one way if Fiku peaks.
He got a kit on the way to the bomb as well, so he's got plenty of time to net that defuse. Oh, he just jiggled for the info, making sure he wasn't already on the line. Of course, he didn't know what we could see. Second guessed himself. Doesn't wait for the tap.
Lost the round after this, to be honest. But with the double kill on the Deagle is really what opened it up. They had 3 players on the B bomb site, and AGO just couldn't dislodge any of them. And all 3 of those pieces were able to just juggle the aggro enough that it made it uncomfortable for AGO to get in onto that bomb site. Another faster play in a bit. Oh, the collat for Zorte.
Love to see it.
And it's starting to shape up nicely now for FORZE. Took a little while to get woken up in the second half, but here we are. Very competitive series.
Rowland's just been nuked as well. He's just copped so much damage from the grenade.
Oh, well that spot was brokey. Maybe it's not going to be named Kenzie as well. So, more towards tons. Kenzie Zorte copped a bit of that nade damage just to try to get on an advanced line. But the rotations have been drawn as well. Although FORZE very well thought out approach to most of their rounds. May just send 3 back towards B. Looks like they may be second guessing themselves, but AGO doing what we know AGO loves to do, and that is use every second they have in the round.
couple of players having already crossed could be a little problematic. The double swing comes through from FORZE and Almeza with the AWP. It's putting in the hard yards. He's still got Furlan to deal with on the B side. But bomb player is actually going down. Ballsy from Furlan, but he trusts the smoke. And he gets himself back across. Was he spotted by Zorte? I have to imagine that he was. Not really too many other angles that he could have gone anyway, and so Zorte will finish it off nicely. FORZE up to 10. Double digits secured for both teams now.
I have a feeling as well. I remember seeing someone say around the Twitter sphere that that wood wall between cave and the B site is no longer spammable. So that would make a lot of sense. I was expecting a spam onto the attempt at the plant.
Yeah.
You just haven't seen it at all. It'd be a little bit broken if...
No, I think that's what the initial complaints were about, was the fact that it was so broken.
Yeah.
Like, there was no safe plant option. Ooh, snatchy.
Well, that's a nice grenade. Furlan down to 25 off the back of it. Good control right now for FORZE. Not a whole lot going on the A side of the map, and I think that has ring true for the majority of this half. AGO really haven't probed too much towards A. A little bit in mid, but even then, it's largely been towards the B bomb site for AGO. I wonder if we do get to see a little bit of a change up from them next time they get the guns in their hands. Laser starts nicely. So far, they haven't really looked like they'd be able to get into the B bomb site easily at all. And Almeza's making it look easy. 4K for him. Flip finishes off the final one, but the assist even goes to Almeza. 12 to 11. FORZE making another comeback. It's kind of the way that this series has gone, is that AGO's gotten off to a good start in each half, and then FORZE have grinded their way back into it. And in some cases, been able to overtake them and then win the map, obviously, in Mirage.
Good round for the City economy, though. Double orb setup coming in. Kenzie also picking up the secondary.
Ooh.
So I want to know how they lock this down. CT aggression coming out.
Kenzie's gone for the dangerous peak early on in the round there at A main, but he was not spotted and decides to double back towards Tons, but that's the bomb off of a peak straight through midcon.
Ooh. Zorte posted on a very nice line, sees the gun barrel of Rallen, and Rallen then follows. Where there's smoke, there's fire, so they say.
Oh, here's that aggression again. Down B ramp, down lane, down mid, on almost every single extremity. And now it's a 2v5.
They're being squeezed right now, AGO. They have one path, and that is towards A, that is clear. Everything else, you can see they're even just trying to check their backs. See what on earth is going on. No need to push here from FORZE as well. They've got all the key angles covered.
Well, that was it. I was wondering where the aggression was. He had AGO not expecting it. He didn't have me expecting it. And Jerry just makes the call to, well, boys, unleash yourselves. And that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, look at how deep some of those kills occurred on the map too. I mean, barely had a spawn the T side. AGO couldn't. What can you do? PQ. May just be able to pull enough back. It makes... There's a slither of a chance, but...
Nah, it's the
they're
save.
not interested.
It's just the save at this point. They were hoping to use the patience to their... in their favour, rather. Hoping FORZE would overextend, and Almeza went on the hunt. Found, nah, they are not going for this round. And FORZE are happy to tie up the game. 12 rounds apiece as the clock strikes 0. A very slow round after the initial 30 seconds.
Yeah, it all came to a head. Super aggressive approach from FORZE. That's early kills. And AGO made a really early call to save in that.
Yeah. And they are invested with a couple of deagles around the two primary weapons. Fiku looking to lead the charge here. Lead by example as the entry. Oh, okay. Kenzie holds strong with the AUG. Falling back into Tons, though he is going to be smoked off. May get a bit adventurous, and he certainly does, into Snatchy's AWP line. But Snatchy as well, all the way into Temple. Going to be getting very aggressive, looking in towards CT. And FORZE, this could be a rough retake here for them.
Very well could be. Snatchy gets a good shot. You talk about rough retakes, well, that's going to make it even more difficult. 2 on 4. Nigh on impossible unless Zorte is going to be given a couple more freebies. Decides to swap out for the AK. It seems like FORZE is going to go for it. They've got a bit of money in the back pocket, so maybe they think they can take the risk. Smoke down on the bomb. Can't imagine this will work. Such an open plan, and every single player is going to be able to spam it if the defuse is on. Ritz gets a double for himself, and AGO go up to 13. It's not a death sentence yet for FORZE, as mentioned. They do have money, and they will be able to reinvest.
This map has all the twists and turns you would expect from a lower bracket final. And at the moment, AGO have done enough to get themselves slightly into the lead. Can they streak ahead though? This is the round that potentially is going to put FORZE on the back foot for the remainder of the half. Double op setup, big investment coming in. Almeza and Kens, triple op setup. Okay.
Alrighty. Is that the answer? AGO very good with utility and plenty of flashes to play with. It might work. Almeza in a dangerous off position too. Will it be the answer? AGO investing 4 players all towards a lane. No util utilised towards Cheetah as well, so Jerry won't be running at them too early on.
This is all the eggs in one basket for FORZE, isn't it?
So they have 2 orbs over towards this B side.
Jerry's picked off early on in the piece, but the AWPs still remain in play. And if FORZE is going to win the round, it's going to be off the back of the AWPs. Almeza flashed in, but Snatchy dispatches of him. Furlan was there as well. It's not looking too good here for FORZE. They're going to have to say it, surely. You've got 2 AWPs in play. You cannot be risking that on a retake on the B side. 3 on 5, no way.
And again, after Jerry felt, it was only Almeza's solo with the AWP trying to dance around Pillar. And Mollies were thrown in that position, so there was minimal places he could be. Can't see, 1 kill on the exit.
3 AWPs doesn't leave you with a lot of options, though. If you do not keep them ranged. Certainly not a lot of options on the retake either, so not really surprised to see an early save call coming out from FORZE.
Appropriate though. A lot of the time you do see FORZE getting very aggressive in situations where they might not have the money to do so.
And I would have liked to have seen more utility.
Yeah.
They didn't. The players that had AWPs, I mean, I understand Zorte. He is their preferred AWPer, but as Jerry alluded to as well, he is quite a malleable player in that he is able to also rifle. So why forego the utility on such a utility-heavy map?
Well, they're doing that right now. FORZE are going for the win. They do not want any overtime. Investing around the 2 AWPs and AK.
I mean, I don't think it's unreasonable.
Well, without the utility that has been the saving grace for FORZE, I'm worried.
Might be on the right track. Who knows though? A side again being left very, very open by FORZE. Heavy defenses over toward B. Nothing really happening at the start of this round, though. You do start to see a creep on the A side of the map. That's where the bomb is for AGO as well. So maybe a bit of a fake in here for Ritz, and Rallen might cause an extra over-rotation from FORZE. Enable an easy bomb plant from AGO. See what the guys over at B are opting to do. So far, no util thrown. But they are lining some up, and inevitably the 2 smokes do go in, so definitely a fake over on B. Rotations are not yet being drawn. A bit of presence being shown by Ritz now, but info there. Snatchy spotted out immediately. Bomb hasn't crossed just yet. Zorte hits that first shot. No one is moving. This is great from FORZE. The CT defense, too strong. Take a bow, Zorte. It was all you. And Jerry even gets one with the MP9. Upgrades to an AK, says, thanks very much for that, AGO. It looked like a nice setup. I mean, you could see what they were going for. The smokes were in, the players were on the B bomb site, but there was no rotation drawn. FORZE was stoic on the A site, and it's worked out for them.
Naughty Zorty. comes away with the AWP. And they didn't put enough pressure on him in the end. So all Reeds can do is retreat back into T-spawn. And FORZE, well, they bring it back to 14-13. And here's Zorte. This shot, though.
Yeah.
Ferlin had no time to react.
Just dancing around triple. He makes the AWP look like a mobile weapon again.
Yeah.
He really does. Well,
throwback.
Have a look at the economy here for AGO. If FORZE can take this round, then AGO are in trouble. They haven't got any round loss bonus to work with. So, probably the most crucial round we've seen in the match so far. Early smoke as well from FORZE, just stopping AGO from the early lane control.
Yeah, that's really locked them out, hasn't it?
Oh, Meza. Very ambitious position. And the flash from Zorte actually blinded himself. Did not do him any favours. So AGO man advantage early.
Not at all what FORZE wants. A little bit of info being gathered by Zorte in mid, but he has to be aware of so many angles. It's a scary place to be right now. B's looking also a little bit weaker than it normally does. Normally there's 3 players here to defend. Now only the 2. Molotov forcing them out of positions. Smokes being lined up. Just the one. This time. No push off the back of it from AGO. In fact, it's actually going to prompt some aggression. Jerry again looking to try and make the difference for his side. But Ferlin is there. Spray control doesn't manage to work out for him, but certainly does enough to open it up for Fiku. That's the B bomb site taken by AGO. Bomb plant going down. Kenzie hiding in the smoke. It's not fading favorably for him just yet. So he hasn't managed to peg one back, and now you're in that awkward position for Kenzie and Zorte of having to save with the 15th round coming up for AGO. They secure at least overtime, and they're on match point and series point as well. FORZE won this map initially. Now it's AGO's turn, it seems like. 16-13 was the scoreline last time as well. Now the tables turn.
It seems like in the last couple of rounds, it's just been so hard for FORZE to control that cheater position, caves as well, and that's just been AGO's entrance in towards the B site. A site hasn't worked as well for AGO, except when they rushed it with the util around the, or the force rather, around the buy, or the save.
AGO were locked out of B though, early on with that smoke. However, the follow-up wasn't convincing from FORZE. They were actually unable to capitalise on that early territory they gained. And again, not really surprised to see attack timeout coming out. And no doubt FORZE are just trying to talk their way through this. Jerry is yet to buy, so probably more worried about the status of the team and where they're headed as opposed to his own weaponry. But I wouldn't be surprised to see something aggressive coming out from FORZE. They had a lot of success when they took control of mid, but this is their chance to do it as well. I do see some good utility on their belt. Should be able to make this work. Interesting though, we haven't seen AGO go for any of that controlling utility on the T side to stop that aggression. It's a big premium being placed on B right now.
15-13. Dire straits now for FORZE. You're going to have to win a couple in a row to force it to OT. Definitely doable with the investment they've got this round. Lots of util. Double AWP still. But it hasn't really felt like the AWPs have had a huge amount of impact in the last few rounds for FORZE. So they need to find a way to get the AWPs involved. Zorte continues to watch mid. Hasn't seen anything. He really hasn't gotten to play the game, nor has Kenzie over on A. It's all been beat. Once again, it seems like that might be where AGO is headed. Change the name to BGO, because that's the only place they are going.
Very true. B is a hot point of contention here. So much utility used from the B-site players, though. There's going to be nothing remaining. However, one smoke thrown at 30 seconds may just be enough. Jerry's actually going to be swinging off the back of it. Has found one kill. No snatchies here in the caves as well, and it could just be the rotation. AGO now starting to head it back towards A. Zorte still here over towards Donut, and he will hear the footsteps coming in behind him. But is he going to be able to dance around the corner in time? One is found, but not another. Snatchy with the trade on the AWP, and the A site has been lost for now. Another AWP remains as Kenzie goes forward, isolated by the Molotov, and he will have another fight to fight, but he's alive on 30 HP. We'll pick off one more. 4v2 though, AGO. The game's on the line.
Bombers down though. Time's working in their favour. Beats the Snatchy to try and hold on to it. It's a very, very tough hold, especially with Almazen coming in behind. All falls onto Reitz. Can't land a shot with the AWP, and that was the opportunity that he really needed to hit if he was going to be in with a chance for the 1-on-4. He decides that he is not interested. Saves the AK. Not a bad shout given where the money is at for him individually. The rest of the lads will be able to buy out 15-14 overtime. It feels like it could be a real possibility. Very nice round win for FORZE. Running AGO all over the map.
Utility, very mobile setup coming out from AGO. But FORZE retaining that double AWP setup. Aggression again coming out through mid, so that's just to get the player into Donut. Molotov comes out too late though to prevent it, so FORZE are actually going to have to contend with some AGO, no longer BGO.
I think it was only AGO because of some circumstances that were out of their control.
Look at this. A push in from Flit as well through lane. Nothing at mid, and Ferlin, he's threaded the needle. So Flit just not doing his job in time. Kenzie certainly does his, anchoring up a Storm with 2 picks. Now back to the 3-on-3. Bomb still needs to cross the side, but Flit is here at Donut. And there's no one covering the bomb crossing. Now the bomb's down on the ground. Push towards Temple, spotted and communicated. Jerry ready for the swing from Reitz. It's up to Snatchy to close it out in a 1-on-3. He's done so much good work. Jump across and trying to thread the needle. Finds the first. No, it's Jerry to stop us here. And it's going to be overtime on the 3rd and final map of the series. Ladies and gents, don't go too far because we've got overtime just after the break.
Behind again, just keep on moving on. Never look down, never fade out. Never fade out. And I just wanna be someone and never fall behind again. Just keep on moving on. Never look down, never fade out. Never fade out.
Overtime in the final map of Ancient, and this is exactly where we wanted to be in this series. It's been really, really tight, neck and neck up to this point, and once again, delivering on that front. So 15-15 the scoreline. We find ourselves out here between AGO and FORZE. And I mean, it's kind of hard to say who's looking stronger on this map. And I guess that's probably represented in the scoreline as well. I'm not sure where we're headed.
It's a big tug of war at the moment. Both these two teams have either loosened their grip or tightened their grip, and it depends on the bomb sites as well too. We've seen some really intense battles towards that B bomb site, and some variations that have gone back towards A that seemingly have just gone pear-shaped because there's been stiff resistance. FORZE have been doing a great job of locking things in. I mean, there's just that last round to send it into OT. I don't know how Kenzie manages to get a double though, but it turns the tide back in favour of FORZE, and they managed to bring that round that I thought that they were done and dusted back into their favour, and they take it into OT. So I don't know, I think we've got a few twists and turns left. Both these two teams, I definitely don't believe AGO have gone through their full assortment of strategy on the T side. We didn't see anything that we saw in the first encounter between these two teams on Ancient, so I believe they've gone back to the drawing board. We get to see it.
Oh, we start off things pretty high octane. Flit gets a nade kill onto Reitz as we head into the first round of overtime. XCOM AGO sitting on the T side. They were the ones that had the opportunity to finish this map off right here and now before we went into the OT, but now they're going to have to work hard once again. This site with the 3 defenders, AGO with a little bit of a split. As of yet, no commitment in a flash. Maybe providing some space for AGO, and Rowland starting to shoulder the angle. Flick goes down as well. And FORZE have the numbers over on the A bomb site, but not on B, and that gives AGO enough of a opening to start looking in there and looking for a bomb plant. Smoke starting to fade though, could be a problem.
Oh, Almeza going to be stuck in the corner trying to play an angle again. Zorte and Kenzie, the double AWP for the retake. It's not looking likely. Kenzie, however, spotting that player out over towards B ramp. Good chip damage with the nade. Cover as well. Kenzie's coming in from the back of quad. Flashed through. Not effective. Rallin and Fiku hold down the fort. And there you have it, 16. AGO in the lead yet again, after FORZE had the man advantage. So AGO doing a great job to bring that back from a 4v5.
Certainly are, and they're going to fare better in OT. As we said, they're a team that relies a lot on utility, and 16k MR3 is going to give them all the tools that they need to try and build themselves something.
Big util used early on from FORZE over towards lane. And it is going to be the flash with the double swing. Snatchy coming in through that smoke just at the right time. Maybe. No, he's gone back the other way. It's going to be Reitz and Rowland holding down the lane.
That was devastating. They really needed more from that. And AGO managed to get themselves... They dig themselves out of that hole. So now it's so difficult for FORZE to be able to try and hold this map. AGO, they love to pump the brakes in these mid-rounds, and they've got plenty of time to do so. They've thinned the herd. And now they will have the pick of their bomb sites. Maybe even be able to catch a CT out in rotation. I don't believe that will be the case if they've deeply rotated, which they have. So they're just... This is what they've done. They pump the brakes.
Ooh.
CTs are spread back out again.
Whoa.
And Fiku's just picked up the Zorte on the rotate.
Well, things go from bad to worse again for FORZE, and it looks like we are going to see them play one on either side. So big job ahead of Jerry here, because AGO seem to be gravitating towards the B side of the map.
This will be a toughie for Jerry, won't it? But he might have actually found the timing, starting to push for a bit of info. Could be false information at this point. Does hear the jumps and util starting to pop in, but has he got that timing down nicely? That's the bomb spotted with 20 seconds, but a very good trade from Rallin will avert disaster for AGO.
I know Kenzie loves that position, and it's going to be the spam through the smoke to trade. 2 rounds in a row for AGO on the T side here of overtime. And FORZE still yet to find success.
Not really what they wanted there, FORZE. They aggressed, trying to get that double push going, didn't get enough out of it. and found themselves short. And I mean, AGO, always in control of that round. Jerry may have been able to disrupt things, delay the bomb plant. Could have been a key moment, but unfortunately, wasn't ready for the player that was in tow. Very, very close to that bomb plant. And now this is already so much faster and aggressive. And look at this push coming through mid, though.
Ooh, how's the timing? Shadow going to be favouring Rallin there as well. He'll take that kill with open arms. 2-man advantage now in FORZE. Feeling the pressure. Hunting for any information. You've got Kenzie now out in the open at mid, and with the push from the bottom of mid as well about to happen. Oh, it doesn't actually. Well, lane will be cleared out. We might just see a rotation from FORZE.
Doesn't look like FORZE is going to be heading back over to the A-bomb site, which is where they need to go. Slow creep from AGO. Mentioned it so often that they do like to play these mid-rounds out slowly. They're doing it again. Run's going to have a bit of a peek into mid. Might get the freebie onto Kenzie. Does, but will it turn out to be free? Because Jerry is going to re-aggress. Has heard the footsteps. Ryland's just rolled around the corner at the perfect time to keep himself safe. I'm not sure he heard the drop from Jerry. So, that will be an easy execute. It doesn't really tip the scales too much in the favour of FORZE. Still a 2-on-4. One plant down. And it was down quickly as well. Now Almeza drops and Jerry, I don't think he's got much of a chance in this round. Too many angles to check. 18 is up. That is a perfect first half for AGO.
Now they head on to the CT side, the more favoured side on this map.
Yeah.
This may be the end for FORZE, unfortunately. They need themselves a flawless T side to be able to salvage their ESEA Premier season.
Yeah, they did so well during the regular season, didn't they? Undefeated.
8-0.
Would have thought they might be in with a crack at that spot in ESL Pro League next season.
Were they in different divisions to AGO? Because I think during groups there was the 2 different groups, right?
There was 2 groups.
I think AGO was on the other side.
Yeah, these two, as far as I can remember, did not meet. Let me just check.
Yeah, they were in different groups. AGO was second in their group.
Yeah.
6-on-2 record for them.
And that's why they played so early on in the upper bracket too. Well,
it's gone back the other way this time.
FORZE on the T side. Let's see if aggression is going to be key for them, and it certainly will be. Almeza finally making something happen. Jerry, he's going to not quite burn alive. It's going to be reaching to find the headshot, finish him off, and flashes are plenty. It's going to be fighting fire with fire as AGO looking to close the game out here and now. Swinging it back to a 2-man advantage for themselves. Zorte, a long way away from that bomb. And Flit as well, looking to rotate over towards him.
This is a high-cost salvage operation. I don't think they're going to be able to do this.
I probably have to agree with you, Jim. On the floor, Reeks will be forced off the angle by a molly. That's 1 down, but 3 to go. Still a minute. At the very least, FORZE have some time to play with, but it just gets worse and worse for them, doesn't it, that smoke? Keeping them at bay for the next 20 seconds, and I mean, Rallin is happy to just play right behind it. He's got backup. He's got Furl in there on the other angle, and
another molly, couple of flashes.
1 flash on the T side.
I think it's all over Red Rover.
35 seconds now, so what was a pretty reasonable amount of time to play with has very quickly disappeared. Interesting choice from Furl, and at a very inopportune time, picks up the AWP. Going to be low on HP, but Snatchy is there to help him out. A second on the offer. Zorte, the last man alive for FORZE, trying to keep the hopes and dreams alive for them, but he cannot. And it'll be AGO to finish the series off and move their way into the grand final. Still more work yet to be done, but a reason to celebrate nonetheless. And they'll be happy with today's proceedings, despite it being so damn close. Overtime in that third map. You can't say that it was a comfortable win by any stretch of the imagination, but at least it's a win, and so, yeah, hey, you take it.
Can't really ask for too much more. Look, getting just barely over the line to overtime there. They were in the lead, however, and FORZE, they put up a fight to take us to that overtime. But Ancient, again, providing the goods. It's just so great to watch how the teams and the meta is evolving. But AGO now really fighting hard, digging deep, and taking their way into the grand finals to get a rematch.
And I mean, it's a bad time to mention for FORZE too. They get handed their first competitive loss on Ancient, so
yeah.
I mean, it's a bad time to drop a map like that. However, AGO, I feel as though they were one of the more rigid.
He was holding 45 seconds ago. He is so patient too, so I think that he in particular is going to pop off, and that's why we highlighted him, and I think that's why ENCE is going to win.
I haven't been doing predictions all week for a number of reasons. One is predictions are often taken too seriously, and second, for Flare, and it's a charity event, but since Maui did one, I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah, I mean, so I was gonna lean the same way. You know, at the end of the day, it's a charity event. You know, we're everyone's a winner. I'm gonna just do Furia then, just because then. But actually, I was also gonna say ENCE. Realistically, just
I'm just doing it now.
Because listen, because all this is out the window. It doesn't really matter at the end. If I end up losing this prediction, it doesn't really matter. It's all fun and games, right?
There's no accountability.
But like I said, there are also winning conditions for Furia here, right? But I do think the main man here, Arc, really needs to show up and step up if Furia were to win the third map.
Well, the main men of the moment right now are going to be none other than Dinko and Haka. They've got the honors for the last game of the semifinals.
Thank you very much, Matt. Yes, I'm looking forward to hopping into this last map for us Hawkers while here at this charity tournament. It's been an absolute blast so far, but we're jumping into the pistol. One of these teams will be heading to the grand final. The other, unfortunately, will not be. Keserado getting a good start. That's going to be Spinks down. Plan's starting to come in, but Art, he was the player that Destra highlighting. For Plan said it just a moment ago. He has to be the player to deliver, and he hasn't done it in the pistol just yet.
Otto seeing what he can do. It's an extended fight, but one he will win. And the fury of players remaining are both low on health. Keserado seems to have lagged out. It's gone about as badly as it could have for Furia on the pistol round. It's overrun that A-bomb sec. And unfortunately for Furia, I think we're going to have a quick tech pause here to get that all sorted.
Yeah, nice little breather as well, Hawker, to collect our thoughts coming into this. Keserado definitely looked like the victim of some network issues right there, so hopefully we'll get back onto the server and get the action going very soon. But coming into this, Maui is incredibly confident that it's going to be ENCE taking the win here on Vertigo. Are you feeling the same way?
I'm not incredibly confident, but that's the way I'm leaning right now with this ENCE team. I think they're good enough to get the win here. Like Maui was saying, their recent results on Vertigo are actually really good.
So Maui just has more conviction, is what you're saying, Hawker, at this point.
Sure, but he might be wrong. I mean, he also said that Hades is just guaranteed to show up, so I can't wait for Hades to just have the worst game of his Vertigo career.
Well, Maui's been pretty on point today in terms of that first series. He's talking about Searson, T-Open on Vertigo. So, there's a lot that Maui was getting right a little bit earlier on today, so I think I'll side with him. I feel like ENCE should have this, stats-wise, it looks like they're in much better form coming into Vertigo as well. When they're riding this wave of hype, especially when you bring a new player in, it can definitely be exciting to watch. I, in particular, want to see D-Hat play a little bit better than he did over on Intrin. I think I was looking at the team chat just as they were having a quick discussion back and forth between the teams before this game got started, and D-Hat was kind of laughing about his performance over on Intrin. Obviously, admitting that he didn't play the best, but it's good that he's sort of recognized that. Hopefully it's just a one bad map from him and he can hop right back into this, as we do, as we're into the action again. It's ENCE who are currently in a much better situation when it comes to the purchase, actually winning a pistol round. Furia win the pistol rounds, but they never win the FORZE buys. Now ENCE come into play.
Art's got the good old Zeus. He used to almost always get a Zeus kill, I feel like, on CT side Vertigo, because he'd just jump into the ladder room a lot of the time, and teams just didn't seem to be ready for it. But I think they've started to realize that you can't be going in those close range angles now. Flash at the ready from Keserado. I like that they've got one flash here, a chance to swing and maybe cause some chaos. Unfortunately, ENCE are pretty well prepared for it, though. Completely shutting it down. It's a beautiful clean round coming in from Ants. D-Hat with a little tap as well under the head of Casterado. But here goes Art. Can he get a Zeus kill? He can. He gets one. I love that. That's what he set himself up for the whole round, was just getting into that cubby. And I did notice something on the way out there. UMP skin of Spinks is actually the same skin as your favorite Hulk skin, but over on the UMP this time, Hulkus. There's more of it. There's a whole collection. Didn't even know that existed until now. My day's been ruined. Absolutely devastated. Do you have another tech issue though? Casterado, I believe information from production has told us that Casterado's PC crashed a little bit earlier on, and he got back into the server so quickly, so clearly his PC is better than mine. Hey, you'd hope so. Pretty important to have a good PC. That's your workstation. If you are a professional CSGO player. In come the rifles for Furia though. A chance for these M4s to show us what they can do. And maybe the FAMAS of Honda, who's gone down to the weaker rifle to get the full nades and the kit. And he's also got the smoke lineup early. Art will be playing on this A site, as the desk pointed out, but I don't know if he'll get too many chances for early fights here with all these nades coming through.
You can just look at the T-side differences from Ents now versus over on Ancient, and I have to agree with Maui, who was saying that if you look at Snappy's T-side that was being called, it just felt a little lackluster from the get-go. And on T-side Vertigo, just within the first couple of rounds, I see a lot more conviction. I see a lot more confidence in what they're doing. Just it's more assertive already in the first couple of rounds on this T-side, so I'm expecting a much better game out of Ents. As long as they put all their rounds together at the beginning of this, get the flawless 3-0, they'd be off to the perfect start, and that's when things can click into place for Ents. The thing about Furia is they're so good at disrupting your game plan. They're so good at getting in there and ruining things that you've had planned. They've got to do that here. 45 seconds left. They're down a player, and Ents are coming into the site. Yuri's been unchecked. It's short, but hasn't got a kill. Instead, it's Vinny that's been able to find one through the smoke, and a second coming in as well.
A lineup at the ready from Honda. This could be nice. Spinks is the one man who had health, but half of it's been taken away from him. All the Ents players pretty low in this post block.
You know when you're going to plant the bomb, you have to have some health on Vertigo, because you're about to get bombarded with utility. So luckily it was Spinks up there with 100 HP. That secures the 3v3 into the post plant, and Furia running over the top, attempting this retake. They've tapped, and there's a smoke up. That's going to create pressure now for Ents to realize, okay, they're off the bomb at this moment in time, but we're losing players left, right, and center, and Spinks, he's going to play this one so well, just dropping back. Casterado does have a kit, but he's tapped and pulled into the open, and Spinks in with a headshot. Ents get their third round in a row. It's not that clean. They leave it down to just one player, barely enough health, but it's beautifully played there by Spinks in the last few moments.
I've been impressed by not just Spinks as an individual in his aim, but like his positioning and decision making at times. I think he goes a bit under the radar in that aspect of his game, but for such an inexperienced player, I rarely see him taking bad decisions or making too many mistakes.
Apart from his mustache.
Well, you can't call that a mistake. That's just a choice, you know?
I mean, I'm only joking. Mustache, yeah, it's looking on point. Of course, I'm just jealous, Alex. I can't grow a mustache.
Sure. Snappy's not got a mustache. He's clean shaven for aerodynamics as he goes in first with the Mac 10. Changes out to the AK now, but the flank of Honda is not expected. Nice shot onto the first, but all three T's swinging but once, and that means there's a team kill. Oh dear.
Not good at all, but Spinks, can he make up for it? Can he make up for the error, taking his own teammate out of play? They need to, because this is not a round you should be losing if you're Ents. And that's what Fury can do. That's what Honda likes to do, is get him behind, create a little bit of chaos. He thrives in that. Gives his team a chance, but Spinks starting to pull it back now. Opportunity onto Art taken. And Fury are going to start bringing some players over to bolster the defense on A. And it will just be Yuri and Casterado left. The two players you talk about just battling for the top spot on this team. They've got to play together. And Casterado, he's got that HE grenade. Spinks this time's on 14 HP as he goes for the bomb plant.
Oh, nice tag on Arky, nade back, that should do it. Oh, 1 HP! That shouldn't do it, apparently. Roman, training back Mighty Max, he did get Mutawit, and Crucial Orb shot misses to a 3 versus 3 situation. Meanwhile, two players walking out towards the B side will realize what's going on. CTs will rotate en masse, but the bomb's yet to commit.
Yeah, the bomb!
I love this. I love this. Oh, Mezzy. Can't quite catch the kill on Roman. Never mind, I don't love it at all.
And that was a very abstract for Endpoint because they couldn't really act on the B play because someone had to go back and get the bomb. At least for Messi, he's just trying to hold them at bay. He's trying to make sure that they don't over-rotate. Might be able to get away with 1 kill, but even if he just gets a one-on-one trade, he's holding his role, he's holding his job, and for Saw, they can't retake this. You got 2 players low, instantly save.
Yeah, got no choice about it. Got to be so paranoid at this stage, though, knowing that Mezzy was somewhere around that A bomb site. He could leap out from anywhere. I think they've mostly cleared up the position to the exit frag angles, so nothing he can do to try and get the exits. I think his teammates will be able to hold on to those 3 AKs. No warp saved in, unfortunately. There's 2 in play for Saw, which will enable another buyback for the CT side. I imagine that will be the case here. I mean, the loss bonus is starting to build. Haven't got a lot in the reserves, so it will still be a forced buy, but it's definitely better than a half buy here with no rifles to spare at all.
It's a decent money float. Any of those 3 players could drop 2 M4s, so when you look at it, you won't even picture it as being a force buy, instead just picturing it as being a rifle round with the money that's available. Saw, though, what's been hurting them the most is they can't bounce back. And we have seen the adaptation, we have seen the difference, but unfortunately, it just seems like... obviously Counter-Strike is a game of mistakes. Typically, whoever makes more mistakes is going to lose the map or lose the game, and it just comes down to who's capitalizing on those mistakes. And unfortunately for Saw, we are seeing a lot of missed opportunities. Stododo with the AWP out from ramp is the prime example in that last round. Missed AWP shot. Yes, it's a hard flick onto Mighty Max, but even with that, if you're not capitalizing on those opportunities and you're making the mistakes and missed shots, Endpoint are just going to be able to start slapping you around, and that's what they've done ever since they were really down by the considerable margin at 3-7.
Yeah, remember, 3-7 to 7-11, so... That 1 round since that point, Endpoint have maintained the momentum, and now they're 2 rounds away from the victory here. M4's coming back out for Saw, 1 more round in tow. But they need to make it around the stretches all the way in. Endpoint surely will not allow them to get much done here. As you mentioned, if Saw make any mistakes, they should be punished here by the T side. It's default set in much more passively, a lot less to ramp base than before.
Yeah, more utility coming in from ramp, but Surreal's just trying to work on this side of mine into the B side and just opens it up by himself. Just slow walks in, catches just using the util, looking to try and follow up, but now they can just start bringing trailers over. More CTs are falling. This might have to be another save.
Yeah, Mutris forced out of the sight, very far back. Oh, crucial!
What?
His second collateral, a tight gap at the right-hand side of the AC. And just like that, the save for Saw comes down to 1 man of Roman.
How did that even happen? Roman with the AK. Oh, he's not going to check Thomas's position. Jeez. What a round. Just the AWP shot. Was it through the wallbang collateral?
No, yeah,
I just trying to see where that...
I think it was a very tight angle there, like, just you know there's like that really tight gap where if you look in from CT you can catch the default position, like right there, do you see it?
Oh, yeah. It wasn't straight through the wallbang, yeah.
Yeah. Just the smallest of gaps. The smallest of gaps. Coming in so good as well. That instantly wiped out any potential for Saw to save. And now they've got Famartas and an M4 here for round 24. Map point for Endpoint on Saw's map pick. And what could have been a great confidence setup for them has turned to mush here for the Portuguese side. 7 rounds to bring it to OT.
What a recovery this has been from Endpoint on Vertigo, and for Saw, they're desperate for anything, just any rounds at this point. Stododo, Mighty Max on the other side of that smoke, just trying to see if they could work with the util.
Dodo thinking of aggressing here towards alley position, but he's back at side alley entrance. Bomb on nobody here yet to commit as of right now. So Dodo's thinking about pressing in alongside Roman here at the sandbags. Okay, this could get really interesting. Crucials off. Oh, what adjustment. Looking up to the boost spot position and turned very quickly towards the sandbags. Roman's still there to get a trade though. Is Messi ready for this? Not quite. He is seen. Spray goes awry. Crucial lands another great kill.
He's just chiming in, just assisting the best that they can with the riflers. Messi even getting that opening pick up towards Muteras. That's going to drive the players in towards A, and all just comes down to Arky and Just.
And Arky's tagged up, Just is down. Arky 12 HP with a Deagle in hand. The Dream that will die. It's 16 to 8. Endpoint slow and methodical in that round. Nothing too flashy. Just get them past the hump and get the victory on that one.
Yeah, Source started things off incredibly well. They looked well paced, they looked like they had the game plan in front of them. They were really hitting a lot of their shots, but it got to a point that when the momentum slowed down, everything slowed down.
Indeed it did, and for Saw losing that momentum, losing all sorts of control, going into Ancient, that's not a good sign. One of their worst maps in the pool. It's Endpoint's pick after the break.